It's pushed by the ledge.
Gotcha. That's why I was saying it doesn't look like it looks like it's just like
I just wanted
floating
to get
there.
before.
Shoe-wise.
It
That
is.
was good.
Gotcha. Okay, so
I
I'm
like
not.
Toby Keith a lot.
That's a fun song.
Nice.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see that he passed.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't know he passed.
That's really pretty.
There's really an acid.
He's the reason I never smoked weed with Willie again.
Alright, this is how she sits. Exactly like that. She falls off.
I love that you've got her sitting on the stone. That would have been so cool if you had the chance to play with her.
Do you want
I
milk
honestly,
No,
it was
no,
one of
no,
those
thank
things
you.
where I
You
needed
guys
to be
want
able to
milk?
paint the base separately, and I just
so
didn't
full
have
for
any.
dinner.
You don't want to drink my milk?
Later, I promise.
I didn't want to deal with it.
Put in the fridge to keep it cold. I know you like my milk now.
Do you want to come over? Oh, yes, please.
Baby. Hey, milk. Milk. Milk.
Elizabeth Price.
Milk. Milk.
I was just looking at the chicken that she brought.
The
The chicken bites.
well, cause when I bring his kibble, he goes for the cat kibble instead.
So he needs the real good stuff.
So I gave him a high value food for dinner,
That is fine.
and then I figure if he goes for the cat food again, it just means he's hungry and he'll get some more.
I wanted to
Oh,
feel
that is not.
slack.
And Monte's just passed out.
Different color, but I think so.
I know. I'm gonna have to buy you guys one of those from TJ Maxx or Home Goods or something.
We got her one that she uses. She just apparently
That tiny
really
one?
likes that one.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Is if
She
she
needs
likes
a
that
big,
style,
fluffy
I think
bed.
she needs a big fluffy one.
I don't know. It's like when I bought my new shoes today. You'd think the shoe box was like made out of gold because all three of my cats wanted to get inside of it at the same time. And the fat one was the one that eventually ended up winning.
Still waiting.
Well, just because their body mass shoved everyone else out.
Sometimes it falls off because they need milk, but then you have a fork to scoop it out with anyways.
Exactly. Just go. I'll see you when I drink the milk. I'll see you.
All right. So
That's a good
this
idea,
campaign.
It's so nice.
Never thought of that. Never crossed my mind.
So
I feel like I've seen her on TikTok or
I've seen it
YouTube.
so many places.
All right. So starting the
yeah, you guys
Campaign.
are ready.
4 breakdown.
As I'll ever be.
Call of Forgotten Kingdom. So my whole premise for this started with the idea of what if Atlantis never actually sank? What if everyone just forgot it existed?
Heck yeah.
So that was kind of the original premise. I told you guys how I ended up with Loth as my main bad guy because I was like, I need a big main bad at the end of it all, right?
Why not a god?
Why not? First of all, why not a god? And I was walking around Epic Loot for Corey and my birthdays. We went to Epic Loot together, and we were buying each other a gift from Epic Loot. Well, I saw Loth there, and I was like, she's always trying to learn the realm. Why not Loth? And from there, that's where like everything else stemmed from. Like the reason that I chose the Mesoloth was because when I was doing research on Loth, while the Drow are the primary people who worship her, the Mesoloth, other creatures with multiple limbs also worship her because she's got multiple legs. She's got spider legs, and so that's how I came up with the Hydroloth and the Mesoloth. They also allowed me because they had water-based abilities. They can go in water. They can breathe. They're amphibious. So it made things easier for me. It also fit in really well when I got Stratos' backstory.
Yeah.
Because the timeline fit that if the Drow were invading his kingdom, it would be why they weren't available and why the Mesoloth were in Atlantis.
Nice.
So, all the gods came from that book, and I forgot to bring it with me. But I will show it to you guys next time I come. That book also has new races in it, and I don't know if you want me to potentially add those races into D&D Beyond. I don't mind doing that.
So that's up to you. If you want to put in the work, go ahead.
So, but the book is, I paid into a Kickstarter, and it's
I'm
called,
not feeling well.
yeah, I can't think of the name of the book now. Hold on.
I don't know what that is. What's Kickstarter?
It's a crowdsourcing platform to like get ideas off the ground. So if you are doing like game design for like a board game, let's say for example, it costs a lot of money to get that started. So if you have an idea and some friends, you can kind of showcase it to the world and say like, hey, we've got this really cool idea. This is how it's going to work. This is how it's going to play out. Would you help us fund it?
So, for example, the Street Fighter game I brought, that was funded on Kickstarter, and I was, so basically there's a bunch of tiers you can pick, like 20, 80, so on and so forth. Like, so for example, you pick 80, you might get the core game, plus the stretch goals or whatever, and then the more you donate, the better the prizes are and stuff. So it's basically like giving the fans the ability to fund projects as opposed to just companies.
So this is the book that I used, The Seas of Adari. But what I did is I really liked it for the world map. I liked it that it gave me some cities to work with, because it has like different cities and different regions. It explains the different regions on the map. It has the new characters, or the new creature types, which I was grateful for. It also has some additional monsters. You guys never really got the chance to run into those, mostly because of the way things played out. But like, I want to skip to the end here, because it's got some fun monsters.
What? Are you supposed to
This book is actually where I got the ghost ship from, and it's a premise that it talks about in here, is that ghost ship wanders, but it only wanders around the south. So you guys only ran into it in the south.
Oh, I thought you meant
when
our
both
ghost
were
ship.
dead. No. Well, I mean, yes, because you guys used the upgrades for the
Is
ship.
that the one that made Orion turn old when he saw the captain?
Yeah.
Is that one?
That captain actually has that ability. Where are the monsters? These are NPCs.
That was so interesting.
Like,
I think 8 years or something like that.
we were like, oh, how old can Alan get? Oh, okay, we need to
Right.
reverse this.
Yeah, the flavor text for it was the idea that it scares the life out of you.
Evil Dead 2.
In being our owl, you were up in the owl's nest. You saw got a good look at it.
Got a very, very good look at it.
Got real spooked.
It was the one time you wanted to fail the perception. No, can't see him. Missed
Okay,
him.
so here we go. So here's some of the creatures. So it's got new kinds of sharks. It's got eels.
Oh, is that like a lamprey?
Yep. It's got a lamprey in it. It has crystal glass or crystal creatures. Those are supposed to be like in the south or in the north.
That's like Atlantis when Kita goes into the crystal. Oh, I'm so obsessed.
Yes. There's foxes.
Steve Brother Bear Spears.
I forget what this guy was.
They look like intelligent octopuses.
Yeah.
Yes,
Google.
they are. They are intelligent. It's a type of intelligent octopus.
Caladu?
Calid.
Caladu.
Yeah, Calid. They're evil creatures. These guys.
Oh, I love that.
You had a full chance of running
Minion
into
from
them
the-
if you had to get to the sea dwarves without.
Being diplomatic.
Yeah, without being diplomatic. You guys took the diplomatic approach, so you didn't have to be with these
Yeah,
guys.
well, you kind of just made that happen.
And this is just a more upgraded version.
What is that movie called?
Oh, it's an otter.
Yeah,
It's
That's adorable.
it's Winston.
but it's a Misty River otter.
I love that.
It's not Mastermind, is it?
Megamind.
Misty sea
Megamind.
otters. You got sea dragons.
Oh, that's so cool.
And you guys never went to the northeast, so you didn't get to see them.
Yeah.
And that's a big
So cute.
sea dragon.
Can we have gotten that like as our friend instead of Nessie and stuff?
Yes.
I love Tiny. Don't get me wrong.
Sea monsters.
I love that they just call them sea monsters.
I love them.
There's new skeleton creatures, like this is a skeleton captain. I think he's the one
Scared the shit out of me.
who scared the shit out of you. No, that's not him.
Make a couple albinos after that.
That's not him.
The two-headed skeleton.
There's pirate skeletons,
Oh yeah, shark people.
shark people. Well, think
That was an
this is an
orca
orca.
So it's an
This is a
orca.
shark. This is a whale person.
My bad.
Yep.
Gosh, Raya.
There's a whale.
And then there's a white whale.
Moby Dick.
Yep.
Look, it's a crab.
The crab.
So I just thought I'd show you. Oh, and then these are the potential familiars.
That's fun.
So I had a lot of fun. I used the book as a foundation, but I wrote my own storyline to go with it. I didn't use the stories that it uses, but yeah.
That was gonna be my question, if you get the 17 or however many Godstones came from the book, or if that was something that you came up with.
So Godstones didn't exist in the book, but I wanted a milestone-based mechanism for campaign progression, and I wanted it to tie into the idea of how Atlantis
Fell from memory.
fell from memory.
Yeah.
So got the idea of the Godstones came to me. I don't remember. I saw a movie, and they were like using stones.
Atlantis.
No. And that's when I got the idea. Well, what if the stones were the hearts of the gods? So the one thing you guys didn't figure out was that the Godstones are not just stones; it's the god's literal heart.
Oh wow.
You guys, that was one of the lore bits that you could have figured out, but it just never kind of happened. So
Which makes it more interesting because of the way they responded to when they got their godstone. It's like, where did they place their heart? Yeah, that's interesting.
that's why they always that's why they always pulled it up to their chest.
Except for like Mordo and stuff, I don't think he did. Some of them didn't put it up to their chest.
Yeah.
Everyone was supposed to. Everyone but Vessi.
Yeah, because Vessi put hers back up to the sky, didn't she?
Because Vessi never wanted anyone to touch her heart again.
That's valid. That's valid.
So the 16, there were the 16 gods of Atlantis. That's what I'm referring to them as. And they're all like minor gods, is the idea. And then you had Maliki and Arako, which are major gods. Eadra, sorry. Which are major gods that come from the normal D&D pantheon. So the idea was, okay, so what if the goddess of the hunt and the god of the sea had a relationship? They were in love with each other. Oh. And they came together, they had children, their children were the gods, and then they eventually created the race, the Atlantean merfolk, of their blood. And they created Atlantis together. That was the whole idea. So, I'm trying to think what else I had to talk to you guys about. Oh. I did want to show you guys this.
Uh-oh. It's another prop.
That's the prop that didn't come in on time.
Oh no.
Oh, that's the trident!
Oh nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Oh, I like that heft.
I don't know if we want to use that in the future for something, or if someone just wants to take that.
Like a letter
Take her out.
letter cutter?
What do you mean? It's hers.
Take her out. Of the thing.
Oh.
I'm getting a
I
picture.
to like take her out of the frame of the picture.
No! We're bringing her into the frame of the picture.
It's time to take Lynn out.
It's teeny tiny compared to her.
Oh, yeah.
Roku can arrange that.
Oh, nice.
The cup I forgot last week.
That
Nice.
It needed to be used last week.
I don't
Hey,
know.
you can put her back up. Okay, we'll
So
pass this on.
speaking of Loth, going back to Loth,
This is a little heavy.
I don't think you guys realized how OP Loth was, because I brought
Oh,
her.
we definitely realized.
I brought her down in god form. So she had the ability to create 10 of those avatars just at will.
Poor Will.
Yes.
Well, I was going to start creating more of them the longer you guys took. I only didn't start creating more because you
Grab the.
grabbed the trident. But that round, I was going to
Get
throw
it and
another
another.
one. And then you guys were going to keep adding them. And so Loth had been trapped in that chamber the whole time. And everyone she sent to get the trident either died because they were cut down by the axes and they didn't make it, or they made it to the trident but they didn't know the response. and so they were blasted by the Trident and killed.
That's gonna be one of my questions. What happens if you answer wrong?
So,
What would have happened to Lynn?
yeah, that would not have been good. Was the only way to defeat Loth to banish her?
No.
No?
If you guys had killed her,
Uh-huh.
she wouldn't have died.
She would have been
She'd gone back
banished
to
for
her
like,
realm.
she would have been banished in a
It's
realm
a-
for
So
100 years.
I had two, other than Trident, if you guys wanted to go directly at Loth, if that was the path you guys wanted to go, there were two scenarios. One, if I started killing you guys off and you got her down to 50, she would just rage exit. Or the other option, if you guys could pull your shit together and you could actually get her down to 0, maybe one or two of you would die, but then she'd be gone. She would never come back. But there were two potentials where either if you got her down to 50 and she left, or with this, with the Trident, both of those options guaranteed that she would come back at some point. Because you've not really gotten rid of her.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't act God.
No, she would have just been banished to her plane, like her plane for a century.
Yeah. Whereas right now she's just gone for
A year.
65 days.
Don't worry, we got plans for that.
Yeah, well, I've got 365 days to put together the one shot, so next summer, you guys get to deal with her again. As long as Alex doesn't mind cutting me cutting in for a one shot.
Nope. Not
Do
at
you
all.
know if we're going to be using the same characters?
That will depend on conversations I have with you guys. For sure, she's stuck with her character. Everyone else, it'll just depend on what you're doing, where you are in the Grand Realm now, because now Atlantis is part of
The rest of the realm.
the rest of the realm, and it's. I haven't had a chance. I think you asked me for a write-up. As far as Atlantis now being part of the realm, it exists in. I was thinking like the southeast quadrant. If you guys think of that map that I did a long time ago,
Yeah.
of like that one section of our world, it would be like down here in the southeast and the southwest kind of directions. So it'd be down in the southwest, probably like on the meridian-ish. So, because a lot of that area is tropical. The only places where you start to get ice is towards the north part of those isles.
Yeah.
So,
And that could be partially Atlantis too.
so the whole world now remembers that Atlantis exists, and they know that they, for a while, forgot about it. Atlantis, though, now has to start rebuilding relationships with the world.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Is it just really like old people that know Atlantis used to exist?
only 20 years have passed in the movie.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right.
80-something years have passed inside the storm, and I think it was like 50.
40
or
40.
50 that passed, like, in that medium
God.
zone.
I hadn't come to terms with the fact that she's technically 80, like 4. I had like gotten to 44. I was like, this is fine. Oh man.
Well, no, you were always in the normal
Yeah,
time zone.
I know.
Time was slowed inside the dome, and
Yeah.
then slowed even
More
more
in-
by
By
Nessie's
Nessie's
rage.
rage.
Nessie's rage.
That makes
so.
sense.
And by the way, Nessie, the name for the Kraken was completely accidental.
Mm-hmm.
You asked me for a name. I knew there was a Kraken. You asked me for a name, and I was just like, "What's a monster name? Nessie. We're gonna go with Nessie."
The Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Just
Classic.
about a lock and a lot of Ness.
Tiny was kind of accidental too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We drove home that day and he was like, I cannot believe that you just adopted a Kraken. And I was like, I'm sorry, you really think Elizabeth didn't just drop that on me and she wasn't staring me down like, adopt them. I was like, when God says adopt, you adopt.
Don't shop, adopt.
Don't shop, adopt.
Tiny was an accident-ish. You were going to have an encounter with him. I wanted to see if you were going to try to adopt him. But
But what we've learned is that Mariah's character does not matter what. If Mariah is playing it, it's going to adopt the tiny thing. Mushu.
Yeah.
But I was having a conversation with my brother because I was talking to him about the campaign and what I was doing with it. With Ken, he's my youngest brother, and it's like I'm really trying to find a cute but weird kind of creature for one of my players, and I want to throw them a curveball. And he was like, well, haven't you been dealing with the Kraken? I said, yeah. He said, well, what if you had a baby Kraken? And that's how that happened. And so then I looked up stat blocks for baby Krakens. And I was like, I'm going to give it a shot.
Yes.
We're going to see how this works.
Absolutely.
But I was, with Tiny, I was tracking, like, everything, every interaction you guys had with Tiny. I was tallying.
I've been there.
It was either good, neutral, or evil. And then it was either more lawful or more chaotic.
So essentially, the sooner I get him away from Olugu, the better.
He really screwed with Tiny, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, I believe that.
I'm great at that.
Oh man.
So that was interesting because I did pull Quantum and I was tracking interactions.
Keeping track of his alignment, how his alignment was being modified.
How
based
does
on the
alignment
behaviors
end at the end of the
people
campaign?
It was green.
Yeah,
So
give me a
it
second, I
Hopefully
was.
green means good.
I think neutral good.
Yeah.
What you said?
It's lawful neutral.
Lawful neutral.
Maybe there's a neutral in there somewhere.
It's not bad.
So he's lawful,
Yeah.
but he's neither good nor evil.
What
Yeah.
laws,
There's
what
no
laws
time.
does he abide by? Like, is it like he's lawful of
Which-
whatever the law of the land is, or
which-
specific law?
Ever laws that Lane is convincing him are right at the
Okay,
moment.
so your laws.
My laws. Which are kind of the laws of the land if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, you might have some special laws specifically for a Kraken.
We.
I thought you were about to say for Olugu.
That's it.
That's true. No, that is a character goal of mine actually.
Yeah.
And that's also, so like if you guys remember back to session 0, I was setting you guys up for the idea that you guys all came from Atlantis to begin with, in some way, shape, or form. The only two who didn't come from Atlantis originally are these two, except her people came from Atlantis. Her people were originally from Atlantis and they moved.
And I agree.
They migrated, and that's what led to her people killing your tribe. Interesting. So you were never born in Atlantis. You were born after. But shortly after, they left. But it was before events went down.
So some of the people from Cambridge is from Atlantis.
No.
Well, she
Or she was adopted.
She was adopted
Oh.
by.
Oh,
by
that's right.
Cambridge.
Yeah, okay.
Her original tribe are originally from
The
Atlantis.
shifters.
There's so much loyalty in this, or royalty in this campaign.
Secret royalties
It's a
all
lot
around.
of blue blood.
That's
Well, there was a lot,
No wonder I was so
of
unhappy.
royalty or secret royalty, and then there was by accident. Everybody
many
ends up
cool-
with like multiple personality disorder or
Right.
something. Multiple versions. Some of you were polymorphed without your knowing.
I was a drug addict. Didn't even know it.
I still do drugs.
That was.
I got drugged
I'm just
from
gonna
my
say
to the
that was
party.
accidental. It just kind of happened. I was just going with the vibes, and I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? Yeah.
And
Yeah,
racist.
I I forced her to go with that one. Because that was an accident, and then Orion was like, "Oh, they found out that you're racist." Solidified. I knew you from the past. But it's Morgan.
Canon.
It's canon now.
Well, 'cause
You're a
it-
racist.
As Orion, your best friend growing up was also one of the Atlantean royalty, which gave you a
secretly.
buy-in to the.
Yep.
That was his buy-in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
His
didn't
his
even know
buy-in
about
was that he had been in contact several times without knowing it. That was the idea. But everyone, I mean, it worked really well with the backstories you gave me. I didn't feel like I was having to like force that.
it. Yeah.
And I think it helped that I told everyone they had to be within a certain age range. But that was because of the prophecy, because I needed some way to get you all at Atlantis by accident. So I had to say, well, if they're all arrested and they're all X amount of years old-ish, there we go, prophecy. So I just got to make sure they're all arrested and they're all X number of years in age. So that's how that worked. Or at least appeared to be X number of years in age. Because Stratus is the only one who wasn't actually 20.
Yep.
So, alright.
How do you feel your first full-fledged campaign went?
I wish I hadn't had so much else going on. I think I would have been able to put more time into this.
Well, I mean, you're a teacher. You're teaching the next
Oh, yeah.
generation.
Yes. But I do think that this went really well. I enjoyed it a lot. Did you guys feel like I did a suitable job?
Absolutely. We had a lot of stuff traveling, like a lot of stuff going on.
I had fun. That's all I care about.
I had fun.
I tried not to retcon too often, but I do know there were a couple of DM mistakes that I made, but that's okay.
I mean, it's bound
Part
to
of
happen
life.
with something so
Yeah.
large. If
Yep.
a project, it was a project
Did you ever
that-
feel like the world was too big?
I feel like in the very beginning when I was building, I thought it was too big, but once you guys started moving, it was, and you started playing, it was better. Especially when I reminded myself that it's not actually a world, it's just a part of
Yeah.
a bigger world.
It's an
So,
archipelago, if you will. It's a very large archipelago. It's an island nation.
When I first started trying to build the campaign, because it was before I had the Badari book, and I was struggling with building the world, that was why I went to the Badari book, and it helped a lot. It helped a lot with managing the world creation. It wasn't all on me anymore, which was helpful.
You know, have pre-built locations that you can add into.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and you
instead
kind
of
of
from
build the
scratch.
story around like the terrain and like what you see.
Yeah. Well, and like that map, I ordered that map for the campaign, and I ordered it before we even started it, but they were making it, so it took them a while to get it to me. But like, I have the map in the book, but then I found, I was like, well, how am I going to get a, because the map that I have is like that paper one, and I was like, that is going to tear and to shreds by the time we're done.
Yeah.
How long did it take for that to ship to you?
I want to say it was like 3 to 4 weeks, and that's with like a week to week and a half with us going back and forth because someone was in contact with me, like, hey, can you check the specs on this and how does this look on the mat? And they made adjustments. The image quality was really good that I sent to them, but they were struggling to get the image quality to look good on the map. But they got it to look really nice.
Yeah, it looks,
So-
it looks excellent. Even like the tiny text, you can still read it really well. So
Yes, I think you posted it in the group. I think I'm going to end up using the same thing for our next campaign.
I thought it was a really good idea when I was like, well, what can I use? And I'd been looking at buying myself a new desk mat. And I was like, when we're done with the campaign, I've got a souvenir.
There you go.
And if we ever end up in that area again, because it's open to you too.
Sure.
At
now a
any
map.
point, there's now a map that we can return to. So, which I think is really cool.
was there anything that was like large that we may have missed
Side
that
scope.
you expected us to hit but we didn't?
Or
Or maybe,
how many
or maybe
things.
something you're disappointed that we didn't hit because you wanted to see how it worked out?
I think the thing I'm most disappointed that you guys didn't get was Orion's character arc.
Yeah.
Because you
Oh, yeah,
died
'cause the
the
university.
session before
Yeah. It was hard.
we were going to start your arc.
It's my favorite
Like-
character.
I had planned character arcs. I had an idea for the arcs for a while. It was just about like slotting you in eventually. I knew that you were going to end up at that God of Knowledge at some point.
Yeah.
And I knew from quite a while back that everything was going to change with your contract with
Savros.
Savras, and that you were going to need a new god. And he was going to do that for you. But the trade-off was you were going to lose Crux.
Yeah.
So Crux was going to be gone, but you would still have Orion. And it was supposed to be this idea of finding Orion, finding himself, like not feeling like he needed Crux anymore. As much as I like Crux.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Somebody else named Crux.
More at peace.
Because I feel like Orion relied on Crux a little bit for some things. And it started out reasonable to rely on him. But I thought it would be cool to see that kind of character progression.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah, it's a shame I didn't get to see it either.
Yeah, because you had just opened up to the group about like Orion or Crux's creation and kind of like you're like, you know, now looking back, was that the right thing to do? Like, did I mess him up a little bit?
That was a tough decision to make.
Yeah.
Was to reveal my double and like how to do it, when to do it, and
Yeah.
it had to be like a real reason to do it. That was probably the biggest struggle I had. So
Yeah, the idea of that god I created early on. so that if you didn't do it by that time, it was gonna force you to do it. Because I forced everyone
You have to change
to reveal something about themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even things that they didn't know about themselves, like him, who's
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that screwed with me by the way.
Oldigo.
Yes. When he chose to use the amulet to turn you into a demigod, and I was like, okay. Rewrite history
Yeah.
here now.
That was a big retcon.
That was a big retcon.
That was a big one.
But yeah, so you were struggling with like the when, how. I think the way that you did it was like beautifully interwoven with the story. It made a lot of sense.
Good. Glad to hear that because I spent a lot of time thinking about it.
I mean, it worked really well. It was really great.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
And
mine
it was a big
willy-nilly.
character moment.
I mean, so yours was determined by a role?
No!
No?
He was wearing an amulet!
Right. But that's what I mean.
It's pure choice.
His condition was just a.
Was just you doing it by choice.
Yep.
So you can do it anytime during the day?
Yep.
Yeah, swindle people.
And it didn't affect your ability scores at all, right?
Nope, it's pure appearance. That's why you can see through it.
But your voice, so was
I'm
the
a
voice
con man.
pretend? Was the voice was all pretend? It was all pretend, make you to be old. Oh my
I
god,
absolutely love your response there. I'm a con man.
it
That
makes
hard,
sense. Holy shit! What made you want to do that? Like, what was that?
You
What
wanted to
sparked?
be old, right?
You want to be old, but you also wanted.
There are
have
perks
age
to
limit?
appearing old and wise.
Right.
Which is what he wanted for his character, but I said you had to be 20.
And so,
So
we
He said, so
compromised.
what if?
I
And I
can
said,
pretend to be old.
Okay.
Okay.
It was a character compromise, yeah. Because I remember you being like, I really want to be old. It's like, alright, figure it out.
Well, you did a great job because, like, I never figured out that it was something you did by choice. Even with Truth Sight, I could just see your alternative self. I just didn't know why. I didn't know what was. I didn't know what was up with it.
Well, that's why.
I just thought he put on a wig.
That's why when you guys were arrested, he suddenly became young,
Yeah.
and then he wasn't old until after you guys got your stuff back.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you didn't have
There's
your-
only-
you didn't have your necklace.
I described it when we first introduced our characters what the hourglass necklace always were. I just had to flip it to like let the hourglass drop, and I would switch to either old or young.
It's a condition.
It's a condition.
That you choose.
It may be chosen condition, but it is a condition.
What other questions do you guys have?
Well, now that we're talking about characters, we want to go around the table and talk about how we created each of our characters. Starting with Trey.
Oh boy.
It was a condition.
I want
Let's
to know
see.
what was on that paper
Which paper?
that Midas gave you.
Oh.
Oh boy. Did I write it down? I still have the paper in my backpack, but of course that's at home.
I mean, I remember the gist of it.
Let's see.
I know
Where's
what-
One note.
Did you guys want to know how much HP Loth had?
I thought you said it was like 900.
Yeah.
Like total? Yeah. It's a lot.
So we need to figure out a way to reverse gravity to bring her down, because at the end of the day, it was going to be impossible for us to actually like even get her down to 50 because of how high up she was.
Well, Atlantis just needs to make an alliance with Airborne, and then they'll just throw Gadara at Law.
Lynn's not gonna let that happen right now, man. Maybe like that in the future.
I can craft some spider climb boots.
And then, while I do appreciate that, I honestly
And by
quantum
the
Get
way,
like the
reverse
whole army,
gravity.
get boots for the entire
The
army.
reason you
Heck
couldn't
yeah.
place the Godstone in the beginning was because you guys needed Val. And if you placed the Godstone in the beginning, Val would be dead. And there's no way you guys would have gotten through the campaign.
That's valid. We really would not have.
Makes sense.
That was why Val was like, he needs to be last.
Olivia's better.
Uh-huh.
And I did not write down what the note says, but it is my backpack.
See,
It basically said that she regretted that she wasn't able to say goodbye properly, and that she gave Oligud the drugs for Artemis. And the implication, her train of thought, and this wasn't in the letter, but her train of thought was that if she can make up with Val, maybe she could help repair Artemis's and Oligud's relationship, even though there really wasn't a friendship to begin with. But she didn't know that. And however, she also had some leftover feelings from her previous self in the alternate timeline, where she doesn't know why she's attracted to Oligu. It's because he annoyed her in a parallel timeline. So
I'm very annoying.
I get
Yeah.
that.
she's attracted to bad people, so there's that too.
She likes them bad boy.
You know, motorcycles, leather jackets, all that stuff.
I am evil.
Old you in a nutshell.
You did that so well, though.
Oh yeah.
It was greatly enjoyable.
You walked
I
a
mean,
very fine line.
There were 2 times during the camp there I was like, this is going to end right here because we're all just going to get in a fight with him and it's going to go one way or the other.
Anytime Trey portrays the party, it does not end well for the party.
Hey, this is the first time he did it of his own free will.
Did you really portray the party though?
I didn't betray the party.
Oh yeah, there it goes.
I just didn't do what they wanted.
So
I didn't harm any of them. I didn't betray them.
How did you talk Elizabeth into letting you play an evil character?
I think I have my backstory is that Olgu and his clan, at their baseline, aren't evil. It's that the people see them as evil because of their necromancy.
Well, but I knew he was playing an evil character, so.
Right.
You say, but
The-
Olagu was evil.
What convinced me
You made some evil choices, I think.
was he was lawful.
yeah.
And so I said, well,
Right. not
everyone in the
chaotic.
group is either good or neutral, and they lean towards lawful. So as long as he's within the letter of the law, it might make some people upset, but it shouldn't be a reason that the group splinters.
Exactly.
That was the idea. As long as he kept it lawful. But I told him that if it got too much, I wasn't telling him. There was warning involved. I never had to use it.
And is there anything that was unexplored in Olagu's thing or that he didn't want to?
Oh, yeah. The whole island.
Yeah.
You guys just like skipped the whole thing.
They didn't go any to the southern half to see any of the other tribes.
So what you guys don't know is the other tribes had been upset over what was happening with the graves with the necromancers, and the necromancers had separated themselves. They moved to the North Island, which is where the shrine was,
Yeah.
where the temple was, and they weren't stopping people from getting to the temple, but people were getting upset with the necromancers and whatnot. So the turtle dragon attacked because the turtle dragon had been hearing about all the things the necromancers were doing, and when the Mesoloth came through in the first invasion, they killed its child. And they made it look like it was the necromancers. So the dragon turtle came through and killed the
That'll do
necromancers.
it.
Dragon turtle came
So
through and killed the
Olagu was right,
necromancers.
mate. People were innocent.
Yeah.
People were
Olgu didn't know that was the
Tribes,
reason.
the other tribes
It was a setup.
took up arms against on behalf of the necromancers. And they subdued the turtle dragon. And they decided that it was going to spend the next century staked to the ground. As a
That's why it's
punishment.
chained up.
That's why it was chained up. And they went, yeah. Turtle dragons live a long
Yeah,
time.
I
centuries
know. But centuries.
And it killed a whole tribe of people. As far as they knew, no one survived. So his body, if you guys went through looking at the houses, his body's the only one missing.
So, the only reason that Olagu was able to escape is because the other turtles came to help, or was that afterwards?
That was afterwards.
Okay.
They didn't.
Olgu was lost at sea.
Yeah, Olagu.
That's what happened with him?
As a very young turtle, yeah.
Yep.
How? Like before all that happened? Before the
So when the turtle dragon came through, everyone was trying to escape, but it was following them through the water and
So
was
it
taking
destroyed
down
the
the boats.
boats and stuff. and
He
then you
ended up
floated.
on a small rowboat that ended up drifting ashore.
Yeah, I was imagining like
Turtles
actual
go
baby
away.
turtles, how they just as babies go out into the sea and just start swimming. That was like,
Unless the
Wait, why
lights
not
are
a
too
turtle?
bright and
So
they go the
you
wrong
washed up
direction.
on shore on your home?
No, in
Where?
outside of Atlantis.
Because
Yeah,
all the
then
way
the
outside.
dome would have
Yeah.
come down.
Before the dome came
because
down,
the
yeah.
Mesoloth had already started invading. It was the
Yeah.
first. It was after the first wave that the dragon turtle killed his village, and so the other villages took care of the dragon turtle. They were expecting to release it after a century, except a priest comes through and they hide the stone, the god stone, in the turtle shell because they figured who's gonna mess with a fucking dragon turtle?
Messy.
Messy. So you guys, if you had freed the dragon turtle, it would have given you the godstone.
As a thing. Well, we were never going to be able to free the god or the dragon turtle with him.
yeah.
So if you guys tried to attack it, there was going to be an earthquake as it forced itself out of the ground, which is why he was getting those visions towards the beginning, and then, you know, he decided he was just going to have Nessie slaughter the dragon turtle.
He was going to contract somebody
That was my
instead.
pact. I'll do what you want.
He
Kill this
had to
bitch.
roll against me. We did rollsies, I don't think he knew, but we were doing rollsies against each other, and he won. So
I'm very charismatic.
Oh wow.
Nessie slaughtered a dragon turtle that was completely defenseless.
Tied up the chain.
Her favorite way.
And the other turtles in the other village, had been casting prestidigitation, and I want to say it was sanctify, but I have to pull my notes.
All of
Yeah,
you
that's what I
successfully through this campaign got revenge on the dragon turtle that slaughtered his whole family long ago by utilizing a relationship with Nessie, a giant kraken. That's fucking
But
insane.
That's not even the best part, because essentially Nessie was just your side hoe. Because at the end of the day, you were really there for Morto.
Yeah, Morto's my main bitch.
Oh my god.
So it's not even like he's like, fine, I will pledge my
It was a
life to
means
you.
to an end.
No, side bitch.
This campaign through your eyes was totally different. Holy shit.
Yep.
Oh my god.
He made it very interesting, and me behind the screen, I was like, what the fuck is happening to me?
I mean, there was a moment in the campaign where you literally just took the theme screen, put it right in front of him.
I think that's the first time that's ever happened.
That's when
I was like, I'm not
me and
tracking
you
this
started
shit.
fighting.
Alright, this is your campaign.
I'm not doing this right now, yeah.
I don't even remember which one was that for? Why did I have the screen in front of me?
It's because, so you had locked yourself in your room
Oh,
and
yeah.
after Orion's body.
Oh yeah, it was the Orion body theft. Gotcha.
I mean, at that point, I wasn't DMing. I was watching.
You're like, you might as well have this.
Yes,
Artemis
that
was not happy.
That was Trey's show. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
And Zach was building out gore.
Yeah, give me some time.
Oh yeah, I gave you plenty of
Give me time to
time.
put on the-
And you did great.
Yeah, that was one of the moments where I was like, the campaign could just end right here.
Let's say I was driving a fine line where I will not harm anybody, but I will be the biggest inconvenience in existence.
Well, I think you did a fantastic job. I don't think anybody can play an evil character in a group.
How do you
paladins as well as you
how do you think he ranks next to the other characters you've played?
Oh,
when it
fuck.
comes to power level
Or I mean, just my favorite
or
too.
favorite too? Yeah,
Oh, let's see.
Lay down, Bear. You can lay down.
I'm more interested.
I feel like because of the boons, Olagu's more powerful than the character you created.
Yeah, both the other ones also got one of Alex's moves.
Yeah, but more than that, Quantum
Quantum is his own special character.
Quantum was min-maxed to such a degree that, like,
He went full robotic specialization.
yeah, so he's an absolute beast.
The issue is I have severe recency bias. Every time we end a campaign, like, oh, is this one my new favorite? And I'm like, but I thought the same thing at the last ones.
So who do you think could do the most damage then?
The most damage?
Yeah.
Olagu, because he can pass Finger of Death, like,
Oh
20
yeah,
times.
that's fair. That's fair.
I think of your characters, my two favorite are Quantum and Olagu.
Which is interesting.
And Olagu, I think, is like leaning towards the top, just because.
He's definitely up there.
Because Ash never talked to Quantum one-on-one.
That still cracks me up.
Well, I just think it's just because of like
We're gonna have to fix that.
how well you played that line.
Once was there a one-on-one conversation?
How well
Or
you
even a
played.
direct sentence to each other.
No, they don't need
It's
to
the
fix it.
Legolas
Let
and
that-
Frodo relationship.
And my bow.
And that's it.
That's amazing. Oh my
It's
gosh.
the like you can be friends with people that other friends are friends with, right? Like
It's a friend of a friend.
Never
it's
talk
a
to him.
degree of separation. It's fine.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But depending on how you let the post-campaign progression go, Olagu might become the favorite.
Yeah. Who has questions?
Well, but hey, you made a promise to me.
Which one?
What happens with grunge?
Oh, that's part of my post-campaign progression.
Oh yeah,
You
Grunge.
told me that we weren't gonna have to do a one shot for it.
He's gonna be dead.
There's no
Okay, we're gonna have to do
Well,
a
that's
one
that's
shot for
between the three of us, right? Because you summon him, and I
But
summon
I can give you the
Crux.
order of I'm gonna do it.
I gotta be there because I gotta play Crooks.
Right.
I'm ready to get my revenge. So you know what? I'm chilling now.
Let's see. I'm gonna need him and his relationship to Crux, a giant pot of chili, and the gate spell.
it. Okay, I think
Ooh.
we're gonna have to do like a quarter shot or something.
It's
Let's say we just an encounter of level 20 booned characters against whatever he was.
what level was
Crux
he?
is level 9.
I think he was only like level
2 or
10.
3. Oh, he's a level 10.
That makes sense, honestly. So it'll be like almost a fair fight between Crux and him.
Jump on.
I'll say, did anybody, I don't remember, did anybody take the boon where you insta-kill CR10 or lower?
I saw those, but I was like, those aren't fun.
You didn't see that? It was one of the level 3.
Well, then here's my deal. If you're dealing with a creature that's below CR10 and you're a level 20 plus, what's the point in that? Unless there's some kind of character arc that goes with it or story element, there's no point in me putting you up against CR10 creature.
It would be really great for Lynn to have taken that, so if the Mezzaloth ever come back, it's just slash, 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 slash. You're done.
Well, that was kind of the idea. And like I thought very carefully about all those boons.
Yeah.
But I really liked them all and liked the interplay of them together for you guys.
It's fair.
But the reason I gave you 3 boons was because you guys were fucked if you went against Sloth without them.
Did you in the campaign with a lot of money?
Oh, what was my
tell
total money
them,
count?
tell the good
Let's see.
people.
He could almost get that one.
I was
they
more
said
than
the
halfway
dragon,
to the
Dragon
100,000.
Lord or whatever.
Almost.
Because you had to have 100,000 gold and have your own land. Technically, he owns his own land, and he had 50 plus thousand. So he could almost
I
have
ended
that.
at 56,726 gold.
Oh my god.
And then
you
after
worked
every
that
simulacrum cast cost 1,500.
More than that, he's the reason that their boat got improved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. You spent, oh my god.
Yeah, I fronted an entire improvement cost.
I love the gambling system I added, but holy fuck did he use it.
I say, you give me a guaranteed money back, I'm going to use it and guarantee to get as much money back as I can.
Then,
Do you think the gambling was too easy?
But I'll say, the
I
house
think
should always win.
Do you think the rate was reasonable?
the platinum rule broke it.
Not really, no. It
Yes.
balanced out, I'd say.
Did it? Because I played that a few times, and I think the platinum rule broke it.
I'm just gonna say he wasn't as lucky as you. I saw some of his tips.
Yeah.
I believe that. I also did too. It was the only time that the dice were kind to me.
Goodbye, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Filthy rich.
We need to go more party than
Filthy
that.
rich.
Twinkle.
Is there anything else you want us to know about Olagu?
Oh,
No,
let's
or-
see.
Do you have any future plans of Olagu you'd like to share?
Oh, I
with
do,
the
but we'll
table?
yeah,
get to
we'll
that.
get to
when we-
that,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a different segment.
Next summer.
Let's
Would
see.
you have done that within a year? Within 365 calendar days?
What?
No.
No, okay, that's what I
No.
thought.
That's going to be post-year.
Okay, thank you.
Unless God is kind, and Olugu has lots of ways of finding information. That's going to be the big
Well,
time.
with the idea that Mordo's
Right.
Godstone is his heart.
Oh, yeah, I know. Let's
What is
see.
he trying to do?
You'll see. You'll
He
see.
will tell you.
This will be discussed when we get to that section. I'm checking. See, I think the only thing that I don't remember if we mentioned in the campaign is that every other Tornal tribe represents a different school of magic. It's like the aberration, enchantment, illusion, divination.
There are just necromancy.
Yep.
What?
So you're not evil, it's just your
Yeah.
magic.
Everyone specializes in different school of magic. It's just people assume necromancy is evil.
So that's why he has the tome, and that's why he had the amulet
Yeah, that's
that gives
the-
him one permanent resurrection.
It was an heirloom from my tribe. It's the only thing I've left of them.
It's a little heartbreaking when you think about it.
I know, you had a crazy story going on there in the background.
But you're too good of a con man to ever share
Yes,
that with people. Like, not even to
really
spin it to your advantage. You're like, no, that's too much.
Like, I struggle with that role-playing wise of, like, keeping information from people. I'm like, you did a really, really good job with it.
Let's say his entire thing is like he's gonna be a super young kid when he gets when he makes landfall outside the city. How does he survive on his own? He becomes a con man and uses necromancy as a labor force, starting money without having to pay the workers.
really loved the fact that what you got like jailed for was tax fraud.
Out of everything.
I-
Everything possible.
And even then, I technically didn't break any tax laws because I had no workers to
That's what they
pay.
all say.
They're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have any workers.
It was just
He
their
just didn't want to
assumption.
prove it
Yeah.
because
Then they freak out because it's necromancy.
Yeah.
There was no
exactly.
breaking, only entering.
It was-
I did think that idea that your undead took over and were like trying to continue the business.
it was the last commands.
And your one permanent summons was like running everything until you returned.
Great time.
That was really funny.
Now Orion's my permanent summon.
And that happened because he sent me a text. He was like, yeah, so I have X number of zombies that I've currently got summoned, and you've arrested me and taken me out of the city. So I'm not there to control them
Yeah, I
anymore.
can't
Just
reinsert my
FYI.
control. I have to do it every day. What happens?
So that's where that one shot came from.
That was good. It was enjoyable.
Alright, so Lynn.
Well, Elizabeth and I met at Starbucks, and she's like, so have you seen the movie Atlantis? And I said, say no more. Am I Kita? And she said yes, and I was like, here we go. So Atlantis the Lost Empire was my favorite movie growing up. And she's like, that's all I'm giving you. And I was like, I didn't need anything else. We're good. But so we sat down together and kind of built out, okay, cool. So she was taken from her home really young. She's being raised by somebody who she thinks of as her uncle. What values would he have instilled in her? What class would she take? And why is she pursuing them? And so it was really just kind of like those three guiding tenets, which is why Paladin, Oath of the Ancients was kind of a non-negotiable, because it's like that is the foundation and that is the bridge between where she was when she thought she was a Triton versus where she needed to end. It's also part of the reason why she unfailingly, until he pushed so far, got along with Olagu, was because she was raised to respect other people's beliefs and viewpoints, even if they were bless you, even if they were contradictory to her own. So while necromancy and like a paladin don't go hand in hand, there was also that recognition of like, I cannot judge you based on how I judge myself, because we are intrinsically different people.
I mean, he was raising a queen.
He was raising a queen. No, I do understand that. I do. I get it.
Did he know it?
Yeah. He was one of the advisors, which is why he was entrusted with her. Which, again, I didn't know until that piece of lore was dropped, which was like, hey, look, he's back. Hey, look, there's the advisor we were missing. We were missing another advisor?
Was it more natural for you to play Wander or Lynn?
Wander was easier at the start because nobody had any expectations of what she needed to be. I think finding Lynn just took a little bit more time, and then once I was there, I was like, okay, cool, here we are. This is what she needs to do. This is what she's being guided by. These are the things that she's actively working towards. This is who's currently annoying her. This is how she's gonna work with him anyways. Because like even with that interaction with Artemis, where Artemis was like going to kill him, even though she was angry in the back of her head, she was like, no, I need him. We will not survive without him. At the end of the day, if I have to choose between the two of you, I need Olagu on my side because he is the blessing of Naruto. So it's like that element of, even if I don't necessarily like you, I know I need you. I'm working ahead with that. That was actually a lot of fun to do. Thank you for so annoying and yet never really passing the boundary until like the last few sessions.
Absolutely.
And even then she's like, I really need you now. Like I can't go back. Let me make my peace with this.
Did you feel like I had too much control of the creation of your character?
No. I think initially I was going towards you or going to you more and more and asking for like clarification on things, because it was either things that we hadn't hashed out or things that I didn't quite remember. But especially as we continued playing, it was very much like she became mine with a knowledge of like, this is what you would like to see from her. How can I get her there? I enjoy a challenge. No, you are not welcome up on my lap. You just sneezed on me 5 times.
And I have to ask, because I've never been in a campaign where I've had like an anchor character, the way that we used Lynn as an anchor character for the storyline. Did you guys feel like I balanced that well? And that it wasn't like this is Lynn's story. It was like, this is the group story. It's just
Yeah.
Lynn's kind of an anchor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I think it's fine because we were all somehow also tied into the world.
exactly.
And Lynn was our easiest access to get to each of our means
Right.
anyways.
We also talked about it a lot, where it's like, especially in the beginning, I was like, am I role playing too much? Am I talking too much? And then we kind of talked about past campaigns. And he's like, do you know how much of the role playing you do at the table? Like, to carry us through the scenes where nobody else wants to talk. At the end of the day, like, the fact that you are that character, it makes sense. Because you're gonna talk here regardless.
Yeah, we're,
The pendulum has
Gwendolyn.
swung the other way, though. I think there are people that previously weren't comfortable in campaign 1 that have become more comfortable in 2, and then 3 especially,
Absolutely.
and then now 4.
I think it's been a progression for
Depending
all
on,
of us.
and
Yeah.
it also depends on what kind of character they're playing too.
Right. It's like how outside of like your own personality is it? It's like, because that's when things get really hard. Just like we gotta make decisions, and you want to make decisions like you, but you can't.
Yeah.
You gotta make decisions with a different set of morals.
Con man.
Yeah. And you do good comedy. Really,
It was a
really
lot of
good
fun.
comedy. Like you guys have seen Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Yeah.
This one, that guy, the con man.
Yeah,
that,
100%.
must betray 100%. You would make that character so casually betraying us. It was good to see you.
How was it playing a paladin? I think you're the first of us to play a paladin for an entire campaign.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was very much like a thing of waiting, and if I hadn't played it out to the end, I probably would have multi-classed, but like the last ability was absolutely worth staying true to like paladin for 20 levels.
Bless you.
So it was really fun to do that and to see it played out like that. It was, bless you. And again, I gave myself some wiggle room with the morals, because of the idea of if she's raised to be royalty, then she needs to understand other people's perspectives and recognize that they're not always going to agree with her, but that they're like their viewpoint is still valid, even if it's opposing what she thinks.
I am gonna say I didn't give her that condition. She didn't
No.
have to be a good royal.
No.
She chose to be a good royal.
Could have been an absolute asshole.
Because of who I am as a person. If I do it, I'm gonna do it right. Yeah. No.
So that was all her, which is a good thing.
No, it created a constant point of contention between you and our evil portal.
Which is funny considering, like, if you look back at how often that we worked together in character, it's consistent throughout. It's just the degree to which we annoyed one another varied drastically.
It's just some things was like, I would do that a completely different way. Why are you doing it that way? Same end product, but why is it being done that way?
Yeah. So we've had some conversations about Olagu's role in the realm. I'm very excited to see how that all boils down.
I'm also very excited, assuming God is kind.
Thanks to God lets us do those plans. But yeah.
Well, you gotta let me know how it is I have to be kind, so I
Oh, when we get there, you will.
You will absolutely know.
So is there anything about Lynn that we didn't know or that you wanted us to know?
I think one of the best things, or like one of the most things that I had fun with, was the fact that like you all were seeing information about her come to light just as she was. And so like you're not actually a Triton, you're an Atlantean Mer. I'm sorry, I'm a what? Well, I guess we're assuming that form now. Like all of that was very genuine. So there wasn't a lot that I had like underneath my cap at any given point.
And was it Crux or Orion that was able to see through your
Orion.
disguise? Okay.
Well, and technically Cross. They both
Yeah,
have
she
to say.
knew she was that she was actually something else. I told her that of character creation, but
Yeah.
she,
It was a, hey, you're not actually the race you're gonna present, but
Right.
you'll see that later. What would you like to be instead? You can be a Sea, like we brainstormed some ideas and we landed on a Triton.
because I did try to not like forewarn her what was going to happen, so that it would happen at the table with the rest of you.
Yeah. I will say there was one point that she was praying to Iadro, and she rolled so well on her religion check that she got expertise in oh god, what was it?
I don't remember.
Hey.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was relatively early in the campaign, but that's how I have a plus 18 to my persuasion checks, I think.
Jesus.
Damn.
Yeah, no, a plus 20. A plus 20. Because at some point I was praying to Iadro like via Discord, and she's like, roll a roll a religion, and I got like a nat 20. And she's like, cool, you have proficiency in that. And I was like, hey God, I already have proficiency. And she's like, God damn it, you have expertise in that. And I was like, yes. But like things like that didn't get broadcast to the table, never really talked about. It was just if you had suddenly been paying attention to like my modifiers, you would have been like, what?
She did a lot of praying this campaign. I was getting lots of messages behind the scenes of, hey, I'm praying this, asking this, asking this. And I used roles to help me navigate what the gods do. Because the whole idea of being a paladin is that you have a connection to the gods. And as the DM, you're supposed to use that connection. Like through feelings or whatever. And that tended to be most of her conversation with the gods, is they would send a feeling in her direction if she rolled well enough that they heard her.
Sometimes like feel a fatherly touch on the shoulder. I guess beyond that, Desi, right when you were like, I like Lynn. Lynn was literally having conversations with her advisors and her brother explicitly on the best way to carry on the royal line. So you were doing that, and I was like, Elizabeth, I need you to witness that. Like, please vouch for me later. That like part of the reason why she was like, what is this? Is because she's like, what?
Did you ever reveal to them how the royal line is carried?
No.
Is it not in the
No.
usual way?
No. Where it's, oh yeah, no, I did because of because of Penn. Or I only told you, but like if a descendant of the royal line has children with somebody, they are Atlantean Mer. Royal Atlantean Mer, it does not matter.
Yep. But
Oh,
the society is not patriarchal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matriarchal society. So while the emperor or the king is the one who's been going around and doing most of it, it's just because the empress has been lazy.
Yeah. I learned that later. I also learned that they were like, yes, you will probably have to procreate with a male. But if you like want to have a lover, that's completely cool. And I was like, well, right on. Bet. Thank you. I'm not there yet. Let's defeat Loth first.
Yeah, because also, like, marriage with multiple people is a thing that can happen in Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the things you guys could have discovered, you just didn't ask the right questions.
yeah.
Yeah, we weren't interested in marriage ceremonies until the very end, and then that was just like literally me in meetings. It was either me in meetings or me sending through mushrooms. But yeah, no, those are the main things that like you all very much. She was a character of like what you saw happening in her life is what was happening in her life because she didn't have any room to. She did not have capacity to do anything else. Just like I'm tapped out. We're making it through the day.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought she was a very enjoyable character.
She was fun to play.
It was good.
She was a lot of fun to play. I am personally very looking forward to like the nice things that she does outside of this campaign because over the progress of it, I was like, oh, I have plans now. Oh, okay, so we need to make contact with these people. Like, let's get trade agreements going. Will you be my Minister of Finance so you can work the system in my favor? Like, where are we going? How are we doing? Things like that.
How do you feel against magically created money?
Yeah.
So, speaking of ministers,
Mhm.
it made me think of that initial prophecy from
Mhm.
Navarra. The one that ended up getting you guys kidnapped because they couldn't remember the whole prophecy.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever get the whole prophecy?
No.
Oh yeah.
Not that I can remember, at least.
I don't think you guys ever got it because the times when you were supposed to get it, you didn't
Ask.
ask.
Totally forgot about the prophecy.
There was
Yeah.
a prophecy.
I remember some of it getting filled in at some point during the very early stages. Kind
Yeah,
of.
I think some of it got filled in for
I
you.
think we
I
got
don't
a
think
couple
the whole
more
thing got
lines
filled
after the original, but I don't think we got all of it.
I just want to know who had the penis heart.
That's,
Which one was it?
That had the what?
The penis heart.
The pious heart.
Pious
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, so you guys did get the whole thing. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, you sent us something at the beginning when we read the whole thing. Because I think Kai was the one.
Yeah, so it's the one, look at a cell and find them there, a blood 20 years spoiled. An entrepreneur of firm belief, able to restart the threads of magic. A royal hidden from the tragic, capable of great diplomatic relief. A pious heart now foiled by a plot to ruin the rising heir. a warrior with an oath yet unsworn and yet ready to protect a foreign kingdom. Let them lead our mother and father to stand fearsome against the raging storm. So her prophecy was about all of you guys.
Yep.
Because every one of you is in there. And it was, the idea was that only as a group, being led by the gods, Maliki and Herodro, always struggle with his name, that was the only way you guys were going to save the realm. And every one of you, including Orion, who's now dead, was meant to be one of her ministers, or at least have the option to be a minister. You were the only one that I expected probably wouldn't stick around. You'd probably just like have trade agreements or alliances or whatever.
Yeah, we already signed an alliance.
Yeah, that was one of those things where she was like, "We're doing this now? Okay, here we go."
So which one was the pious heart?
Malfoil, yeah.
It was Crux and Orion.
You were the penis
You were
heart.
the penis heart the whole time!
Penis heart.
Sometime the penis
Oh,
heart
she
is
was
the one that we had
warrior.
all along.
He was the royal.
That's how we found out so many people were royal. It
He
like,
was the
but I'm a
entrepreneur.
royal. But I'm a royal. But I'm a royal. I'm a royal.
And she, I was very careful with my wording. She is all of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I built that based off of your character backstories.
I don't know how we got along.
So
with that
she,
penis
based off of her character
You and
backstory,
me,
she
buddy.
fit in all of them.
What did you entrepreneur?
heart. Nice.
So she's a penis heart
It's a
too.
really great.
Because
She's a
you were a
penis
trader.
heart- penis
Yeah,
heart
I was
not
in
you're
a
born
tradesman.
Yeah, you sold
grew up
children.
learning trade.
Yeah.
It was kids.
Goodness gracious.
Remember, he was there to stop it when he found out that his friend was
Right,
doing something
right. That's what
stupid.
they all say. That's why we found him in prison.
This isn't my barn filled with kids.
I don't
So
know how they got here.
where does Lynn rank as far as
Don't ask me to choose favorites amongst my children.
I am asking you to choose favorites amongst your children?
Damn you.
She's asking you to rank them, not
It's
choose
clearly
favorite.
Annabelle.
You know, Annabelle slept with the Lord of Hell. Like that's a league of its own.
Never confirmed that.
No, but we made it canon. And you did not deny it. Ergo.
That's what demons
Twas
do.
with
They
concern.
don't need to confirm nor deny.
Yeah, exactly. We had plans for that, by the way. We need to talk to you about that. But that's a really great question. I think I like them all for very different reasons. So, like, I enjoy different elements of playstyle for them. I enjoy, like, playing them for different reasons. I'm really excited for Amlin's continued future, and, like, do not be surprised if I text you and I'm like, hey, so she's gonna do these things as well. Let me know if you need more information. So I'm very excited by that prospect.
And if anybody is sharing character stuff with me, if it ends up impacting the rest of the world, I'm going to end up sharing it with Alex and Alex.
That's the cool thing is now that you're the queen of Atlantis, and now that Atlantis has joined the rest of the world, like you have
Diplomatic
to,
missions.
right? You have to do all kinds of stuff. Like you're going to
Who's gonna
directly,
be the diplomat?
your decisions will directly impact like future campaigns and stuff.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
thought it was kind of like a movie finish with that
It
idea
was.
that she's already been crowned.
Yeah.
She's already the heir apparent. She's been crowned as such. And she comes out, you guys come out of that labyrinth. And it's a glorious moment. But everybody's
quiet.
gone.
Yeah.
Like it's absolute silence. Like to me, I was like, I wish this was a movie because I just want to see that scene play out.
It was, just got launched on Kickstarter. That's all.
No, that was honestly heartbreaking. To be like, we did it, and now I'm an orphan. Cool.
I mean, you lived your whole life being an orphan.
I did live my whole life being an orphan, it's true.
Now it's just forcibly real.
Yeah,
In your face.
To better answer the question, though, I feel like Lynn's control or potential control of the situation is one of the things that I also built into Wander, and so that's kind of one of those things that I was like building up is very different from Gwen or a Darren, where like there is no, it's very much a reactive thing versus like, cool, well, let's start planning. Like, we've got goals, let's go achieve them. Be it through sending an ungodly amount of letters, through a postal system that I'm pretty sure you then regretted, which by the way, we're bringing that back for the next one. She's gonna be sending postal services again. Good luck. But yeah, so like that element is something I'm really excited for.
Can we keep the spores?
I mean, it'll have to work its way out. So
Okay. Because I think that would be cool to see again in future campaigns. That, by the way, was just me trying to find an interesting way of getting information out if you guys couldn't use sending. So I came up with the fungi people.
Whatever happened to the spores that threw off the egg? They ever make it? They ever make it to the location?
probably just drowned.
Why do they go to the bottom?
Well, they're in salt water.
Christ.
Yeah.
It kills them.
Yeah.
Although you did let me plant one in Nessie's castle.
I still have 8. Nessie's castle had sections where there was no.
Did it? It was a ruin.
I don't remember apparently.
Yeah, inside the temple itself.
There was an air pocket.
And that was where, to my knowledge, that was where you placed the spores.
That was a good brain fart on my part because just I just thought I could just stop.
You just
free.
murdered that little fungus guy!
Man, what is wrong with you?
He wants to play with Monte, but Monte doesn't want to play.
Is that why he's been whining the whole time?
Yes.
He just wants to play with the cat?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he was so feisty here, because Monte was on my lap and wasn't wanting to play with him.
Good lord, dog. You have 2 brain cells.
Yeah, and they're currently colliding and saying play.
You all knew about Olagu's chants to Nessie every night, right?
I
Chance.
mean, I knew you were
Chance or
Chance.
chance, like.
Drop the gold in.
Every night I would drop
Oh.
a certain amount of gold in and chant to Nessie what my current message to Nessie is. And I would just message Liz like, this is the message from now until I change it. And every night I would subtract a couple pieces of gold, I just dropped into the ocean. And that's how I communicated.
I knew you were communicating
Yeah.
with it, but I didn't know like
Yeah.
what you were saying ever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can find a couple
Just had to see the
examples.
consequences of your.
Consequences of his actions chasing us right now.
Alright, let's see.
Oh God, when you pissed off Nessie.
Here's one. I think the most recent one is, I have received word of the Dragon Turtle destruction. I thank you for your efforts. Please accept these gifts. And it was 10 gold a night instead of 1. I just dropped them into $2.
Stratos, Zordon,
Your character
High
had
Elf,
some
Centaur,
interesting shit going.
Merman.
And some
By
dynamic
accident.
changes
Yeah.
forced upon it.
You died real early, and then we brought you back.
Yeah, I didn't expect to lose the centaur thing like ever. As I built my whole character around that, so that was interesting. I mean, I grew up with like Arthurian legend stuff, so it's like the Lost King is something I've always been interested in. So that's kind of how I built his whole backstory, because my dad had me read King Arthur stories and watch all the movies, you know, Quest for Camelot, Sword of the Stone, so on and so forth. But yeah, the switching back and forth, so I always knew that his father was a centaur and his mom the queen, because it was like with the Atlantis stuff where the king queen could technically be in a committed relationship, but they could also just be in it for political reasons. And theirs was more of a friendship rather than they were in love. But Stratos' sister was their actual biological child, and that was the reason why Deborah went nuts, was because Stratos was next in line, but Stratos was actually Stratos' son. So once Olagu changed Zordon's backstory, I was like, well, then that would have to mean that Zordon's biological father would have to have been a royal mer, because that's the only reason he swaps back and forth, because his mom is an elf, and then his dad was a centaur, and that would have to mean that they're now an Atlantean mer, because that's the only reason he's swapping back and forth. Yeah, I just like the idea of the bard class doing like a performance type thing and have that be his fighting, because a lot of bards are kind of range spellcasters, and Stratos was not necessarily a tank, but somebody that could fight up close. And then finding unique ways to use his bardic inspiration for others as opposed to just doing music.
I thought it was really fun. It was really interesting seeing you those alternatives.
Yeah, because I did color guard in high school, so I've done the saber dancing stuff, not to that extent, but
I also thought it was great that someone finally betrayed the group that wasn't Trey.
right.
Way back in the beginning.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
was a nice change.
Yep.
You stabbed me!
It was just my bizarro world self.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, you were rolling some awful rolls.
Near the beginning,
In the
yeah.
labyrinth.
Yep. Near the beginning specifically, and that's when when I came back, I was like, I gotta take the luck feat to try to get rid of some of those rolls because this is awful. I'm tired of my character dying.
Did you expect to lug you through the labyrinth?
I mean,
Felt so bad when you died. I was like, I killed a player in like the first month.
yeah. Well,
I
wasn't
wasn't meant to kill him.
Well, it was a natural one. It was out of my control. I didn't have any luck points whatsoever to use. So, yeah, that was interesting.
We just kept you with us.
And you know what sucks is it was a random trap that I threw in there because I was getting annoyed with him.
Oh, there it is.
But it kind of fit with his character to like die multiple times because that's kind of how he. That's kind of what happened to him before the beginning of the campaign, and
So does that mean he's died 2 or 3 times?
so I mean he died when he got teleported out of the Feywild. Then he died inside of the
maze.
The maze. Was there another time? Oh yeah,
And then he died in the timey-wimey bullshit.
Yeah, so he's died 3 times. And I kind of worked that into his psyche too. Like he became very forgetful and his wisdom went down from 11 to 9.
Oh man.
So that's why I took one of the boons up to my wisdom a little bit because originally my wisdom saves were -1.
Oof!
So, yeah.
Did you do the one that gives you +5 to a stat?
I forget. No. I think it was resilience. That was what I took. I took the 3 feet thingy for the boons. But yeah, I'm glad I went with him because originally I had 2 other characters in mind, and one of them was Rufio Van Richten, really old guy. But I think next time I play a character throughout the whole campaign, it's going to be somebody that's a lot more morally gray, because I've noticed a pattern with my characters. They're all essentially good people. I mean, Ivanova has her rough edges, but they're all very good people at their heart. So,
Join me.
So, I don't think they'll be evil necessarily, as I've got a couple of
More
ideas. Of
Quantum's not evil.
It's straight neutral.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, morally gray. That would be a lot of fun to
See,
see.
I'm hoping when we do our thing
Mm-hmm.
that because I'll be a pixie or whatever,
You're just gonna be evil.
that will either pure evil or pure good. Like there's no grayness whatsoever.
You let me know. I'll balance it.
Okay.
We'll come straight neutral.
Because then I figure that'd be more interesting.
Be more entertaining.
Especially if I don't put up with anything that goes in the gray,
Mm-hmm.
and if I'm tied to you. I think that'll be a lot of fun though, pretending to be.
And I think
familiar.
Zordon became a lot more interesting after he died too, and then especially after Crux died, because he felt somewhat responsible for Crux, because, you know, in a way he also OC, the whole like card thing, that was all the like theater and stuff.
But you never gave Ulugu his reading that you promised.
We can still do that. It was like there's a lot of stuff to do at the very end there. But it was all bullshit, and at a point, he started feeling bad about it. But then it's like people were asking him to do it. He's like, well, I can't just stop.
The horseman that's gonna lead him to victory.
That fits
That
so
was
well.
so amazing, yeah. Couldn't have been better. Your horse poop?
And I loved how you played it the entire time.
He kept it going. Kept it alive.
The redhead.
Yep, it was the redhead. That was an adjustment. I kept slipping calling me horseman. It's like, no, you're my mer person.
Your horse
mermaid.
around. He's a seahorse mer person.
Yeah, that's right. Seahorse. My seahorse is gonna lead me to
Your seahorse.
prosperity.
How did you feel about your potential race being in Trey's hands?
I was interested to see where the hell it would go.
Was there a worst case scenario race?
Kobold.
That was the other one you were choosing, wasn't it? Wasn't that the one you were bouncing between?
That was one of them.
Yeah. It's cool.
Well, because initially you were like Myrrh, and we were talking about it, like just sitting here, and I was like, so you have to be really careful with that, because if he's a Myrrh, he's only got a tail. If you want him to be able to walk, he needs to be an Atlantean Myrrh. Or Royal Myrrh. Mostly because I thought that would really, really suck.
That would have changed things a lot.
Yeah. I'd have been like, well, we're staying near the water.
They have Zordon dragging him around. His tail.
It would have been just like the labyrinth.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like his cranium wasn't that complicated. It was just finding a fighter that fought with style.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. I liked the Bardic Inspiration. Like, I think the first time you did it or something, it's like you had your hair, like, whipped your hair back or something like that. It's like you get Bardic Inspiration.
Like, oh damn! All right, here we are.
It was awesome.
That was funny.
I never thought of giving out Bardic Inspiration like that.
Yeah.
It's like you're just inspired because of, like, my handsome good looks.
Right,
My
yeah.
swag.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking about it. It's just like, I know bards are typically music based, but I feel like I hope for the next edition of D&D they expanded to just being an artist rather than just a musician.
Yeah.
But I feel like the sword subclass for that particular bard is probably my favorite so far, as far as like what the bards have to offer.
Which subclass did you take?
It was College of Swords.
College of Swords.
Yeah.
I greatly enjoyed our first combat where we got to see you just run off, leave us all the dust, and start kicking some ass. Like, we're also like 60 feet behind. You've already taken care of like 3 of them.
We're
He was
just trying to
fast.
level.
He was fast as a centaur. It was crazy.
It's like, I'm Misty step 30 feet ahead. I see you go whizzing by me. It's like, oh, fuck.
And letting Artemis had to carry him.
We swung him over like the pants and everything. Oh man.
With the police system.
But it was definitely fun playing a character throughout an entire campaign that I had nothing to do with creatively. So.
Was it a good break?
Yeah, I think. So I feel like the same way with Airborne when I took the break where everybody else took their turns and I came back. I feel like I was just on fire, so I just fully expect when I start Titans of Evilise, I'll just spontaneously combust and it'll be great.
Fair enough.
I will say the start of when I first started running the campaign, I kind of felt like that. It was like, you're just rearing and ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been putting so much thought and time and effort. You're just like, let's get started.
All right.
Start your engines.
So I'm very excited for 3 weeks from now. If
I am too.
If I had to rank my characters,
What characters are you including in your ranking?
Yeah, you got like a whole pantheon there.
Yeah.
But who is?
Krunk, Ivanova, Talia, and then Zordon will probably, because those are full campaign characters.
If you added Mida into the list, because I like making people choose between their children.
Like, Mida was great.
Well, it's like, I played her for such a short time, though.
But it seemed like
and I
you
played
really
2 different
loved her.
versions of her.
Yeah.
And I think I would prefer the first version, but it's just like
Rank your children.
probably put Ivanova at the top, Talia at number 2, Krunk at number 3, and then Zordon at the bottom comfortably. But I think when I play Max for his thing, he'll probably end up taking number 1.
Max. Yeah.
Krunk's kid.
Looking forward to seeing that.
Hearing that, are there things about Zordon you would have changed?
I think it was just also part of like I said, with all my characters, they all had like a really good, like morally good center. So I think if I'd broken up the
Monotony.
the monotony a little bit, that would have helped. So I think probably for Humblewood, I'll probably play one of these other 3 characters I have ideas for, who aren't good people, who don't start out as good people, not necessarily evil, but objectively probably not a good person.
Yeah, not good dude. Not good dude.
Yeah, because I've thought about playing a fallen paladin, a coward monk. Think Jar Jar Binks,
He
or
was not a
Who makes his
coward.
attacks by accident? He tries to win. He kicks him.
That's the drunken master,
I
yeah.
love that idea.
yeah, and then the other
100%.
one would be like an arrogant asshole that wants to prove he's the most powerful warrior ever, just like Vegeta from Dragon Ball, maybe. So, I have a lot to think about that. That's pretty much it with Zordon. He was cool. Oh, your thing. So he made a sacrifice for you, and I don't think you caught on to it because something happened last session where you asked about your addiction, and she said it was just gone.
I didn't say the god fixed it.
No.
Did you take it?
No. So what happened was, instead of taking a level up when we got to level 20, I instead wished for the god to get rid of her condition that would make her lose her memory when she got knocked out. Because I was like, if she gets knocked out while we're fighting Loth and she just forgets everything, I thought that would be really bad.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
That would be really, really bad.
So eventually I think Zordon would have that conversation with you after the fact.
Yeah, so Zordon is technically only level 19.
That's what I was about to
Yeah.
ask. So you never actually made it to level 20.
That's correct. But I think it was worthwhile. I think still 19 isn't that huge of a difference between 20.
Especially if you multi-class.
Yeah, if you multi-class, it's a less payout. Smaller payout.
You don't miss out on that big level 20 because you weren't going to give it anyways. The big 20 ability.
Yep.
I did not catch on to that.
Yeah, I thought it was the god who did it.
Yeah,
That's what I thought it was.
I thought so too.
That's because we reached like god status.
As I, yep. Nobody asked. Nobody
I thought it was
really.
just an answered prayer and everybody there were consequences.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was that.
And I don't check character sheets, so never would have known that you were more 20.
Well, I knew that you were at level 20, but it did not occur to me that it was connected.
Yeah.
I thought it was something else. Actually, I thought that that's what allowed you to stay in your high elf form and never go back to the Atlantean mer form.
Yeah. I did kind of. Well, I knew I would probably have to eventually make a choice, because also like once I started getting high level, I was like, it's so hard keeping track of 2 character sheets. So I sent her a text like, for the love of God, can I just pick one?
So are Zordon and Stratos the same person?
Yeah. So
Stratos is your father.
Stratus is my biological father's name. He just took that name as to sort of go undercover after he went into hiding.
Okay.
But he'll accept both names because
Gotcha.
he's gone by both
Will
for
always be Stratos and Olugu's heart.
yeah.
I don't know how much that means to him, but
So,
You
Crux,
have
Orion, and
Gore.
Gore.
You have 3 characters to talk about.
Well,
I
it all started with Orion.
I do want to say, so that conversation where you corrected me about the hippo people were called griffs,
Yes. You still can't
that was because when he texted me on Discord when he was doing his character creation, he said he wanted to be Gif, a hippo person.
Yeah.
And I read it as, my name is Gif,
I
and
am
I'm
a
a hippo person. So when you asked me, I was like, he's a hippo person. And you're like, they're called Gifs. And I was like, he told me to call him a hippo person.
That was
And then,
such a good
and then
interaction.
almost immediately after I get a Discord message from him, hey, my name is Gore.
Yeah, that's what she was saying that. I was already talking. It's like, no. My name's Corey.
And just so you know, Gif is the name of the people, the race of hippo people. And I was like, fuck me.
You jumped
I was
the
like,
gun.
well,
Got up the
okay,
fast and
carry
saber.
on.
Hold on. You're coming off racist.
It worked.
There's only room for one of those in the group.
Yeah.
Well, it all started with Orion. I wanted to play. I knew from the very start that I wanted to play one of the animal variations of a character.
That's where I was with the turtle.
Either a
Yeah.
GIF or a turtle or something like that. And I knew that I wanted to play something that wasn't straight up like combat, because my last character, Corey, was all about being a tank and stuff, so I wanted to do something different. So I just had the idea of he distracts people with his illusions, and that's how he gets his advantage on his attacks, to do his sneak attacks with his rope stuff, and that's just kind of like how he gets by. So I started with realizing it's an owl person, picked the owl that he was based off of, and then I just was like, I'm just going to make his lifestyle whatever they do. So they nest on the ground, they make their nests, and when they're born, they have like maybe like 14 weeks before they leave.
So I was like, I was 2 weeks old when I left home. And I traveled around and flew around stuff like an animal, just an animal, not an owl person, just an owl. And then when I came back, my whole clan was dead, and I was like, it happens. It's nature. It's nature. I was like, it's natural. I didn't think much of it because I was only like a year old. And then for the next like 7 years, I just lived like an animal. I wasn't civilized at all, and I knew I was different than an animal, so I would go to towns and I would just sit in the trees and I would just watch people be people. So,
Watch out, there's a candle up there too.
Yeah.
So he would just watch people be people. So I've seen people, late night when they're drunk, when they're fighting, when they're romantic, when they're angry, when they're happy. I've seen children. So I've seen every walk of life. I've seen people steal stuff for a good reason, and people steal stuff for a bad reason. So I just kind of became neutral to all worldviews because I could see it from everybody's perspective because I was a third person looking in.
Yeah.
And then when I was 8 is when I went to Phandalin, and that's where I ran into that kid and his dad.
Ah.
And they were the first people to look at me and not see a monster because I'm not from this place. I'm from Feywilds. So they were the first people to not look at me and scream and run. And they took me in, and the dad had rogue abilities, so that's where I learned how to be a rogue. And then after living there for a while and they learning how to be a person and all that stuff, then they were assassinated, and that's what sent me on my route to try to find their assassinators, which led me to Savras. And then the whole purpose of Crux is the whole deal. The reason Crux was even made was because Orion wanted to infiltrate Temper's Burden, the Assassin's Guild that was hired to kill my family, and climb up to the higher ranks as Crux and find that knowledge and use it to get revenge.
Yeah.
So that whole idea of just Savras, I looked up God of Knowledge, and Savras is one of the people that came up. I know everything, and it just kind of fit. And then for the backstory of Crux, everybody should know at this point.
Yeah.
But because I had to I created the whole concept with her permission, with God's permission, of using my finger and like part of my soul in a contract I make with a god to use part of my soul and the magic of the god to fabricate a new soul to become my altar. By the way, it's also a background that you can take.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's a background that gives you an alternate lifestyle. So it ended up working out pretty well. That's where I got the idea, was looking at the background. And then Crux's backstory was...
It was a really bad game of...
It was a really bad game of Call to Adventure. I never reached the third age. I had only the second age. He never got to finish his story.
When you debuted Crux, I was like, wait! I know this!
All about a simple farmer who just kept trying to get people on his land and try to keep them off. The king wouldn't do a damn thing about it.
Wasn't I there for that play too?
Yeah.
I thought so.
It was awesome. I was very happy with that
Literally
decision.
the lowest amount of points, but a fantastic story.
And then I had the idea of being introduced as Crux first, even though I'm actually Orion. It's like having the character that you guys have been expecting me to be. Like, you kept asking, it's like, I'm just waiting to see the owl person. It's like, where the fuck is the owl?
Definitely threw me for a loop.
Right.
It made it really fun arresting you.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
My chili.
Uh-huh.
By the way, he had no idea he was going to be. Did you know you were going to be stabbed? I don't remember.
No, I had no idea. I don't know. I knew that I was going on a
I
mission.
greatly enjoy stabbing you.
Yeah, that was dirty.
Throw it. Go ahead.
Oh,
So
so
that's-
in, stab, yank.
That's how I came up with them, and I was just interested in playing a warlock, one as a fighter, and one as a rogue, and kind of seeing how that build went.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see Crux was appreciated.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm not the DM, I can pick favorites, but I think Orion was probably my favorite. And it's hearing you talk about it, there's just so much mystery around him. He just seems so interesting. Sadly, I didn't get to know him in character more.
Jimmy I didn't answer.
No, I think you just now answered everything that I would have had. But
that's how he ended up with this identity.
Would Orion wanted to be brought back? Because I know that he said no, but like if he had had the full scope of it, not even like it's this or this.
Like brought back as a zombie?
No, would he have liked to be resurrected?
I'll be honest, your decision not to at least bring Orion back, I struggled with. Because I think it makes sense to leave Crux dead. The way you played Orion, though, I wasn't sure. So I wasn't sure, like, where your thought process was there.
I had made, from the very beginning, it was a personal decision I made when creating them, was because of the fact that it is actually his soul, and the only reason that he can live is because he has the ring, which has that piece of his soul still tethered to him. With one of that piece of his soul being destroyed, it would also kill him. It was just, it was just something I vowed at the beginning, so that way I couldn't use him as like a crux to get out of a tough situation and die. Right.
Yeah.
Instead of Orion, I wanted to be risky. So
That's fair.
What did you guys think of the first time I came up as Orion?
That
so
was
confused.
so weird. Especially because, did you come to the group before or after Stratos died?
It was after.
It was after.
It was after you.
Yeah, so you were like watching us, or you knew what we were doing. So we had just lost him, we had lost Crux, and then all of a sudden there's just an Alan popping up going, hi!
I was sneaking up on you. I was following you. I was trying to follow you guys.
And it's like you two knew each other.
Yep, we had our little backstory there too. Yeah, that was done when I was creating the character. Wanted to have some sort of grounding together.
And that's why the names go together too. Orion and Artemis are actually like mythology where they were lovers.
Oh, really? From like what kind of mythology? Greek? Oh, okay. So I know Artemis is a archer. That's what I named Corey's sister after.
But I mean, I'm saddened that I didn't get to see them flesh out and actually see what Crux ended up doing. Well, if I would have had to sacrifice Crux, I don't know if he would have done it. I don't know if he would have, because he would have seen it almost as like killing something that he had a part in creating.
Yeah, Crux. Because my idea with it, and the God's idea with it, is Crux was never actually alive.
Yeah.
Crux was a part of you.
Right.
You would have just reconsumed that part of your soul.
Yeah, but
That was
since
taken.
what Orion knows and what's the truth is that Crux is his own person.
Yeah.
So like even though Orion mentally influenced him to pursue the Temper's Burden, that's why Crux opened up to you about it being like just totally against his nature.
Yeah.
And how he was feeling torn inside. It was like the duality of his nature. It's like one thing is like pushing him in a direction that just doesn't go with his alignment. It's like he doesn't seem like a person to do evil things.
I think the God would have been willing to sever your soul instead of
Giving Crux his own life.
reconstituting it.
That would have been cool. He would have allowed that.
If that conversation had happened, I think that would have been a possibility.
Yeah, it would have
But
been
then
a
the
hard sale
question
for
would
him.
be, would Crux stay with the group? Once
Yeah.
Crux knew, because Crux would end up knowing then how he came to be.
Or would
I'd have to
Crux
think
go
about
find a plot of land somewhere and think about it for a
Yeah,
minute?
after this, but he's got to
But
help his
in a
comrades.
way, he's now have an even greater purpose.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. That was a big surprise when you started dropping straight hints about Crux being your god. I was like, "This is happening? This is like allowed?"
He asked me.
Yeah.
He was like,
Can Crux be my patron?
"Can you be my patron?" And I said, I wanted to say fuck yes, but I probably didn't actually type it.
It worked really, really well. That was.
And I loved all the
definitely
descriptions he used, and all the ways you changed everything so it was farm related and corn related.
Corn
I know, I love it. And you just sent me out there. You would like do something, and then you hear, and he pointed at me, and I'm like, I gotta go for Crux.
Yes, my child.
It's like, yeah, I'm here, my child. I fucking love it.
Yeah, so I had a bunch.
So the one problem I see with this now, if Crux is a patron, that means on some level he's at least divine level 1.
I already know. I already have an idea of what his deal is, but
So it would be interesting. Crux is a god.
Yeah,
Because technically that means that there's some divinity. But
Or
it'll
at
be
least the
interesting.
level of a kraken.
I wonder if, and again, and ultimately not my choice at all, but if he would have accidentally absorbed Orion's soul and it powered him up to like the level of the Kraken. Because the flip of that, which then might have been why Orion was like, nope, can't do it.
My idea was that maybe one of the gods saw potential in him and just scooped him up and is just an emissary for their will or their will to change things.
The Wynn's husband.
But that still
What's
makes
his
him
name?
to some extent
Bran.
a celestial,
Yeah.
Right.
celestial being.
He could
Like,
be on the level of Bran.
Like Goober.
Brand before he descended.
Can you help me get laid?
Yeah. Says I had Harvest Blade's curse for my warlock thing. What else did I change? Oh, Armor of Agriculture instead of Armor of Agathis. Harvest Rebuke. I think those were the big ones.
Oh my god. That was awesome. I'm glad that Crux never really died. That was awesome. And it was funny because the contrast from the beginning of the campaign when you guys thought Crux died, but it was actually Orion transforming. I was joking and like acting like Crux was there, giving you guys words
you
of
were.
inspiration. I was just kidding, and now it's actually a real thing that the character really
canon.
is. Now it's actually real. That's pretty awesome. But when it comes to Orion's the one that you guys didn't really get to know very much.
It's because he's so mysterious.
Well, and a lot of that is because he's true neutral, so he doesn't really have that many opinions morally or ethically.
Other than he wants his remains to be put to good use.
Yeah.
So,
And
for
they're being put to
sustenance.
great use.
Right. So, and then he was always trying to keep Crux a secret for the longest time, so he was always distant with everybody.
How long were him and Crux a thing?
They were a bonded pair.
For I think it was like the past 4 years or something like that before everything happened.
Okay.
He had been working his way up the ranks of Temper's Burden, like 4 years or 2 years, something like that. So they were well established. And then Gore. So I wanted to play a jock who was actually like, he was like super confident in his abilities
As he should
until he goes out and sees all the magic shit that he's never seen before, and his mind is blown, and he feels like tiny, and he's like, I'm not prepared for any of this. Completely felt like out of his element. That's why he went so quiet. Before he was like talking about his muscles and bragging and stuff, and he started seeing all this crazy shit, people raising people from dead.
He turned into a fart.
His god of a dragon turtle's being slaughtered. Like, oh my gosh.
At the wish of a turtle.
Right, he sees Nessie in person, like, it just completely blew his mind.
You ever seen the movie Galaxy Quest?
Yes, absolutely. I love
It's like
Galaxy
that,
Quest.
where there's like these actors that played science fiction characters
Right, and then all of a
see
sudden-
real aliens.
Yep, exactly. It just blew his mind. The thing you guys, it just never was revealed. It kind of got hinted at during one of the encounters with the god. So is his backstory.
Is this the you shouldn't have done the drugs?
Yeah. So, Gore's backstory is that he was out hunting, doing his thing. He's the strongest warrior in his whole clan. He was out hunting, and when he came back to his clan, there was Mesoloth like everywhere, and they were attacking all the clan. There was like little tiny Mesoloth, there was huge Mesoloth, like tall Mesoloth, and he was just going through and killing them.
Oh,
But some of
no.
the people, they were like turning into Mesoloth after a little bit. So eventually they were all Mesoloth, and he chopped some heads off. He choked some out with his bare hands. He smashed the small ones up against some rocks and whatnot. And then he passed out, and then when he woke up, everybody was dead, and he remembered glimpses of that whole interaction, and then he went out and he just kept walking away. It was a variant of Herpetolectus.
Yes!
that
Yes!
grew outside of his place. Well, But here's the thing: is he didn't know that's what it was because he knows to stay away from those ones.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
thought it was some of the drug flowers that Olagu got
Yeah.
from
Flower
Mida.
lily
That's what he thought it
blossom.
was, but it wasn't. So he took a break.
You've never seen Herpetolectus
Yeah.
in bloom.
Yep. He took a break and he just saw it and he's like, oh, and he crunched it up and he did a little line, and he ended up hallucinating. So when he came back to his village, he slaughtered every one of the people that trusted him the most,
Oh,
loved
wow.
him the most. Yes, he was the result. He's the reason all of them died.
Hence, shouldn't have taken any drugs.
All the little tiny Mezzaloths and everything. They
All
were
the
children.
kids. As soon as you started trying to sign, I knew exactly
it's really there's some large ones with some soul into it. Like, oh no, there it is.
I went in and started killing them, choking. I was like,
Yep, he's
That's
just, it was the most violent act he's ever done.
Was the way I hinted at it, was that okay?
Yeah, that worked. Yeah, because Gore still, to this day, because it's never been revealed, he still believes fundamentally it was all Mezzaloth. Everything was done because of Loth. It was all her doing. He's still 100% convinced of that.
Herpetolectus. Psychedelics? No. I'll think of a different word, but
The
that'll be
first
it.
one was
It was Herpetolectus.
Pesticolistus.
Yeah, it was
Something like
Herpetolectus.
that.
I have the spelling of it, but it's like in Latin. Like the way that actual plant nomenclature is done. I'll think on that one.
I have
I'll
that
find
one.
a.
Taking a life of its
Hang
own.
on.
Yeah,
I gotta
Herpetolectus
psilocybus.
psilocybus. Herpetolectus psilocybus.
I think that's because I rolled a nat 20 on nature to determine what it was. And it's like, I know exactly what biological name it is. I know exactly
What was
it is.
originally said was Herpetolectus pesticolistus.
I always so the way that it's spelled is different than the way that it's pronounced. I actually have
That's
the
how I
spelling.
spelled it.
Yeah, I know that's not correct.
It's
but
evolved.
yes.
Yes, it's evolved over
Yeah.
time. Corey didn't know exactly, pronunciation, but he was close.
Text me those so I can save them.
So that was Gore's big dark secret. Yeah. She greenlit it for me.
I got a text. Can I call you? He's free. So I called him. Yeah. That was not a conversation I was ready to have. I was like I was making food. And I stopped
Lost your appetite.
to call. And then I just looked at my food and I was like, you know what? I'm doing the easy version.
Oh,
I was like, because fuck, now I've got to think about what I'm going to do with him.
Oh man.
And I'm going to tell you, I shared that backstory with my friend Corey.
Yeah.
Because she does a lot of D&D, and I've shared a lot of this campaign and like what you guys have been doing with her. And she was like, fuck. That was her response. She was just like, fuck.
Old man Logan stuff.
I know, it's some fucked up
And
shit.
she's like, that is just awful. She's like, a really good story, but that is just awful.
Well, when I was creating the character, Trey, he said, "I'm just waiting for the twist." I was like, "I don't really have one." So I thought of a twist. I thought of one. It's like that's true. I don't have a twist yet. So
Everybody needs a good twist.
So I don't know why that one came to mind,
That's a good one though.
but it did. So this whole time, Gore is never a victim. He was the perpetrator of his entire
Makes your
clan.
outlook on drugs with our conversation make a little bit more sense. A little bit of context to it.
Yep, exactly. Yes, makes that conversation a lot different.
Yeah.
When you realize his history with drugs.
Do you want some? Well, maybe you should only just give me like a pinch.
I really also like it because then like all of the questions that you could have asked the God of Knowledge, Biad, and the one that you chose is how could I have helped Maya? Help the village? Not killed them?
Just don't take the
I mean,
drugs.
instead of not killing them?
I was like, what question would like provoke the most revealing answer? It's like that one. Is there anything I could have
I
done
didn't want to
better?
go straight out like he shouldn't have killed them.
Yeah, that was good.
So I just went with drugs. If you didn't do the drugs,
Yep, that was a good one. That was a good hint.
I really liked it because your in character response was like, what do you mean?
Right, what are you talking?
Like, what are you talking about?
It's like, is this a
So-
PSA announcement?
It was one of
Don't
those
do drugs,
moments where
Is
it's
this a
like,
dare moment?
Right,
Yeah.
what is this?
write that down, write that down, write that down. It's gonna come important later.
it was interesting the questions people chose to ask the God of Knowledge. Of all the things people could have asked, there were some.
How do you deal with survivor's
Doozies.
guilt?
That's an iconic one.
How do you navigate?
How do you navigate Survivor's Guild?
Yeah.
You don't.
I like to keep people on their toes.
But
I'm just gonna make a shirt that said "And Lynn said." How do you navigate Survivor's Guild?
I'm happy with how all three of them came out. It was obvious, like honestly nerve-wracking, trying to figure out how to show Orion's true self, and then switch back and stuff. That was tough. That was very tough. But I had fun trying to work around it. So, and then I wish I would have had your insight into how to play a warlock before I made them, because they would have been a lot better. I never ever thought of it as like warlocks are people that they're already really good at something and their magic makes it better.
Yeah.
It's like that's what it does, since they're so limited with their magic. That changed my entire outlook. I rebuilt Kess because of that. What you said, completely revamped her of what she's gonna do. So I wasn't very satisfied with their power. But that was also kind of because I was working a lot and balancing two characters and trying to
it's
give
long.
them. Yeah, it was hard to do. So I probably bit off more than I can chew. But
But now
I'm
you have
happy
that
to.
experience.
Yeah, but I'm happy to hear that people at the table enjoyed their mystery and their interactions, because I did want to surround Orion with mystery. So
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't annoying. It was actually like
Very entertaining.
entertaining.
Though, to be honest, I don't know that there's been a single character that you have like piloted that has not like sat at the table and just been like, oh, here we go, like in the best way possible. Like just immediately be like, this is a vibe. Like it might be entirely different than what I thought it was gonna be, but this is a vibe. So even though like it wasn't built out, like the power dynamic didn't quite like flow the way you wanted it to, the way that you played them made it so fun to watch them interact with other players, or to watch them interact with like and how they navigated the world. That was still very entertaining.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. That makes me happy.
My favorite moment, I don't know why, but my favorite moment was just Crux riding in on the dolphins.
My favorite part of that was like every insight check. Yeah, he's telling the truth. It's just like, what are you gonna think now? It's like, yeah, he's 100% honest. This is what Crux believes.
For such a loop. Like, we know this stuff.
Right.
It was that and the moment with Orion where he's like, are there any rats on this ship? You're like, rats? Rats. Yeah. Okay.
Hungry.
Here we go.
That was his animal side.
So where do the conglomeration of
Yeah.
Crux and Orion rank?
Rank your children.
Boy.
Well, Canon
Rank them
Milo is
separately and
the
then
best.
them as one.
We know that is your opinion,
Yeah,
Alex.
no. In canon, Milo is the best.
I mean, it's true. It's like,
Only because a certain someone won't let anyone else think otherwise.
Oh, we're gonna work on that.
Don't
next
worry,
campaign.
we've got a plan.
if I would have been able to see Crux and Orion's arc complete, they'd probably be higher on the list. It's only because of that they're not as high. I think Corey's still my top dog.
He did have a pretty good arc.
Yeah. I loved his chaotic, fucked up past, and then just like creating an arc of an actual hero, and like going through the hero's journey and like seeing it grow. I feel like if Crux and Orion would have been able to reach their point of having an arc, and like either Crux goes his separate way and actually has his own life, which would have been amazing, or if Orion chose to sacrifice Crux for a new life with a new god. Either way, I think Orion would be tied with Corey, and I would put Crux probably at the forefront. I don't know why I had so much fun, but I never got to talk with my country accent. So it was just so fun talking with a country accent and just being kind of ignorant, but also like kind of smart at the same time.
Be still my child.
Not very wise, but yeah, right. Not very.
So
Now he's
funny.
wise.
I am with you, my child.
I am with you, my child.
That was
I can hear you. So
Last but certainly not least,
Well,
to start with creation. What inspired Artemis?
Being my first campaign, I was completely clueless on what I wanted to do.
Sometimes that's the best place to be.
So I like animals, so I'm like, okay, let's start off with a wolf-like thing, shifter, cool. Do something paladin-y and just kind of started building my backstory around that, and then me and Zach talked more about his character, and then it kind of helped build out my character a little bit more and all that. And then hearing all the things that he did with Milo?
Amir.
Amir.
As an artificer.
Yeah. It was like, making things and doing stuff like that would be cool, because then it would give me time to kind of like learn about my character and maybe create some things, so that way I can kind of get in the gist of hanging out and doing this with you guys. Because I'm not gonna lie, the first like probably half year of doing this, I was very nervous, very like insecure, very like,
Well, it's hard joining a group that already has like a vibe and have played together for almost 2 years beforehand.
Yep.
yeah. And like doing the one shots is different, because it's just like, okay, it's one night of doing it for a couple hours versus like a whole
Year.
while of doing it. So I'm like,
It's 11 hours.
Yeah.
No, but that makes sense.
so as most of you know, I did message you because you were DMing, so I didn't want to let the rest of you know that I was like nervous and like messaging like, hey, I hope this is okay. My biggest fears was like saying something that would upset anybody, or like doing something that would make somebody be mad or kind of like overtake. So it was mostly just me trying to like hold back and find where I can jump in. So that was like a real
I think this group, as far as D&D groups I've played with, is the best as far as like, we don't really care what other people do. at the table.
Same.
We're just gonna play it.
We
We're
give
just
each
gonna-
other-
We're gonna
Yeah.
give what we get in return.
Yeah, we
fucking
definitely give each other.
I will say
Why are
that
they
was
fucking
interesting to
everywhere?
learn how to deal with, and I have a whole new appreciation for Alex.
Aw.
I try often, like when I play my other characters, I normally play like the, okay people, let's
Let's
get
drive
going.
it forward, right?
Yeah,
Let's
the,
keep things
the
moving.
driving
I don't.
characters. Because I know group has a tendency to squirrel, and I just want to help balance that. But I have a whole new appreciation for Alex, because there were times where I wanted to throttle people, like, you guys, great role play. Can we get to some story?
What I feel like that's just how we are as a group.
And there's,
It's just,
I think it's great. I love it.
it makes the interaction between the characters more authentic, because we can like actually have like, what does
We have
my
a rapport
character
with each
really
other, yeah.
feel about this character,
Yeah.
and is there anything that we can do together, that kind of thing.
And like, I've just as much participated in that at times.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it should be like
And this-
insight as to like when you create a campaign,
right.
keep in mind that we're going to do that, so that way you can kind of adjust accordingly.
I definitely adjusted my DM style very early on.
Yeah.
Once I got through like the intro stuff that I need, like the setup stuff, I was like, okay, stop planning.
Yeah.
So far ahead.
Milestones and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you didn't step on anybody's toes.
Nope.
Yeah,
Not at all.
yeah.
And you had some
no.
of
This is a chaotic group, and you fit into chaos.
In a good
so-
way too. It's like there's nobody that's like
Oh yeah.
overbearing or whatever.
Yep, we all give each other our times to shine and breathe and do our own thing.
Yeah, I know, Alex, you threw out some things where I was like reading into my character and trying to like come up with stuff, and you're like, and then Artemis, I did this with Artemis. I'm like, hang on a second, I heard my name. What am I doing? Like, so I know sometimes I'd be like in my phone looking at like the spells and things and trying to like plan ahead, but it's also like I'm not very. I forget stuff all the time when it comes to this. So
Honestly, there are times too, especially when it's like longer sessions, where it gets kind of hard to stay in the moment perpetually.
Yep.
So one of those things where it's like, walk me back 2 seconds. Where were we? I'm happy to roleplay with you. Give me a cue.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, exactly. It's true. It's hard to stay in character for that long and stay in like the same mindset and whatnot.
So
I've been playing
sometimes
D
you
and D
just get rid
since
of
middle school, so I just wanted to make sure that I could help you out because I knew you were the new player at the table.
Yeah.
So just that's why I would text you pretty often, like, "Hey, what do you think of this?"
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And I know, like, the stuff with, like, Glenn, I would message you and be like, hey, can we do this? And then you'd be like, do you want to roleplay it, or do you want to just talk about it?
You want to do it under the table? You want to do it over the table? You let me
So,
know.
doing that little bit definitely helped out. And then, like I said, talking to all you guys about not wanting to step on toes, and you guys just kind of reassuring me was like, okay, I don't feel as bad. So I know you guys probably noticed, like, the last few sessions I've been more involved and more like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was really happy to see when Old Lagoon very clearly stepped past your character's boundaries, that it wasn't a moment of like, well, shit, it was a, all right, so we're throwing hands. I was like, oh, okay, here we are, excellent.
I think at that point I was like actually really in those feels, so I was like, okay, if this was, I was actually feeling more into Artemis's shoes, because like in the beginning, her not knowing how to swim, I'm like, character flaw, I don't know how to swim. So that was just like a spur of the moment, instant thinking thought.
Yep. That
And
was a
then-
good arc.
The whole racist thing, not expecting it at all. The
That
way-
was my
No
contribution.
racism.
No-
Some
no
of the
mixing.
best
You're
running
welcome.
gags.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just like,
I gave you another flaw.
mhm.
I was like, why not? We never had a racist
Characters are
person in
built
the
off
group.
flaws.
It's
That
like,
we know of.
And then
that's true.
the whole
I feel like Pete was racist.
lavender lily blossom
He wasn't
being
part of our
a
group.
drug that was addicting, wasn't expecting that part.
Nope.
I was just like,
I mean,
in the
hey, you guys ask me things. I'm
Uh-huh.
the one who has to make it make sense within
reason.
within the context. So you know
It's
what?
true.
So the original backstory with Artemis is that her mother was a human, but she never met her mother because her mother got killed because her shifter father's tribe was actually found out that her mother and her father mated,
Yeah.
and that's how Orion's story also got pulled into that, is because my original tribe from my father's side killed his tribe.
Well, that we fought together because Orion, his father Leo, had discovered.
Nessie, bring it straight.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's
You're good.
I was like, that's a weird way to take a selfie. Front picture. So they made it easy
There's
for
the
you.
eyes. Hi. There we go. Those last two were cute.
Bear's adorable.
We got the ears out and everything.
But yeah, it was cool how you guys tied your guys' backstories together.
Yeah.
It was good, cool reveals too.
And it definitely helped me kind of build more of my character, because when we were 18, my mother that adopted me from Cambridge, she got kidnapped by bandits. So our first mission, because I was already training to be a paladin in that area, was me and him getting together to go find her and save her. And then at that point I'm like, okay, since there's other things out here that's not just me, because I've never seen an owlin before, I didn't know there's other people other than humans and myself. I was like, I need to go. I need to find something. And I've heard of Maliki, and part of me becoming a paladin is because my parents knew, my adopted parents knew that I had uncontrollable shifting. So they wanted me to be a paladin, so that way, even though I had those things happen, I would be respected. Because with the kids growing up, I was always faster, stronger, more aggressive at times. So they thought it would be helpful for me to be that way.
How did you feel about getting to make your pledge to Maliki in the end?
It was
What was your pledge to Maliki at the end?
just pretty much me saying that I'm gonna help out with whatever needs to be done and take care of things with people to not have control of my, or to have control of my beast form, because it's been so uncontrollable, as you guys have seen. Sometimes you'd come knocking on my door and I would tell you to leave,
Yeah.
be aggressive. And that also tuned to the whole, when he, Orion is that part of that shifting thing came out.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
that was that. But I enjoyed playing Artemis after I kind of got more of a feel for everything.
It takes more than I think you would realize from like the outside, or like watching a group interact. It takes quite a bit to just be engaged and have a character that meshes well with everybody else at the table, but also is fun to play. Yeah.
Just
So you
learning
did a
to
great
jump
job.
into the mindset. Of
Yeah. Yeah.
That was hard for me to do within the first few bits because of being uncomfortable and still like kind of timid.
Yeah.
But after finally being like, okay, Artemis, what are we doing? And then having the recaps every first time was like, okay, I remember what we were doing now, and that was a big help.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You guys have any questions about her?
Is Artemis your favorite character?
Pick a favorite amongst your children. Not your real children, your fantasy children.
Clark, Artemis, Ashanu,
Charvel.
Charvel.
Charles just wants cookies, man.
Charvel just wants cookies. No, that's Clark. Clark
yeah,
just
my
wants
bad, my
cookies. Clark is with Wander.
Yeah.
Charvel's in hell.
Charles in hell.
When the hell they
Feasting
wanted.
on. Yeah.
Dragons. I know probably a Xyla, because I know what I'm planning with her ahead of time, and I'm really excited about that. But campaign-wise, I would go with Artemis, because it was a good start to get comfortable and more, like, in the mindset of role-playing with you guys. So I think that one is going to be my top favorite, because of it just being, like, the first time. So it makes it more, I guess, personable.
I think all of our
You
first
always remember your
characters-
first.
Yeah. Are, have a special place in our hearts because of that.
They always will.
So I guess that fits in.
There's player milestones you hit. At least your first long-term character was recorded. Also, just memories. Just memories. You didn't record it.
I don't
back
know.
then.
There are some moments where I'm like, I'm not so sad that wasn't recorded.
That's fair.
Hey, I was great.
You're
I
right.
do want to say, going back to campaign 0, or session 0, campaign 0, session 0, your arrest scenario, I think, was the most entertaining. Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
All the arrest scenarios were really fun, but I think yours is really entertaining. Just screaming and chasing this dude down the street.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, does everybody have a favorite campaign moment?
Ooh.
So I know what mine is.
Well, then you get to the start. What's your
Yeah.
Mine is hands down Artemis pretending to be the ghost of Orion Pass to Olagu. I thought that was hilarious.
I appreciate that being your favorite, because I know, like, when I messaged Elizabeth about it, I'm like, hey, could I use my elixir to transform into a ghost and then, like, go bother Olagu to try to have him free Orion? She's like, okay. And then, like, the whole entire time, I'm, like, OC nervous, so I'm like, I don't even know what to do.
It was
You're
like-
the one who chose to do it.
I know, I wasn't expecting that.
But yeah, editing the video together, I had to stop because I was just laughing so hard. So you had the little cap on too. So that was mine.
I think my favorite campaign moment was honestly that whole battle against the Germans.
That was a lot of fun.
That whole like 3-session long like whole thing. I know it took a long time, but if you like think about what actually happened and how the plan went and how it went so well,
Yeah,
It did go
it
pretty
was.
well.
like it was so much fun planning it out, seeing it come to life, and actually working. Some hiccups, somebody died.
That, the Labyrinth, and Loth, the end one, were the 3 that I had to spend the most time planning.
Yeah,
They
I
were
bet.
meant to be big 3 events. So
And all of you clearing an entire temple or
That was
keep
very satisfying.
of just 100 or something
I was
mezzalocks,
so pissed. I was
putting
so
out that
fucking pissed.
fire.
It was such a quantum moment too. It was totally the okay. I'm just gonna dimension gate into the keep. Well, now you just broke and entered. I didn't break and enter.
Nothing's broken.
There was a door.
At some point, it really is. That's a quantum. That's just Trey.
That's just that's a Trey moment.
That's Trey's true self shining through there.
But I think quantum
Was very much Trey.
was very much Trey.
Yeah.
It's the reason he has his own theme song.
It's the first time we ever had a theme song. I was like, it's just so perfect for Quantum.
Each campaign.
It's like you just keep fucking around. He has so much stuff going on.
What was happening when I ended up having that theme song? Wasn't it when I was fighting Olagu for...
I thought the theme song was for the dream. For the dream.
That might have been it.
Yeah.
Yep, because you were doing Quantum.
Yeah.
And I was like, she needs Quantum music.
Yep.
I do enjoy being the DJ.
You do such a good job with
I
it.
try. I have like four tabs of YouTube open up. I'll have your theme song ready. It's already running. I just have it on repeat and on mute. So all I gotta do is unmute it and it starts playing.
That's so funny.
And then if romantic things are happening, I'll go romantic jazz. It's down on the back.
Oh man.
So you enjoyed your first full-on campaign?
Yes. Once I got past like the nervousness and the
the hard part.
and
That was the hard
all
part.
that.
What was your favorite moment?
I like the labyrinth. The labyrinth was pretty fun. You guys shouldn't attack the dragon like I told you.
Just beat up this hill.
You're not wrong. Oh god.
Yeah.
We are dragon slayers.
So, was everybody actually watching us throughout that whole labyrinth?
Oh god.
What was the public's response? Because we didn't get to see any of the response. What was the response the first time we cast magic and started doing all this crazy shit?
So, they weren't watching what you're actually doing.
Okay, just watching.
They
There,
could watch
those
the
marks
numbers,
on the
right?
walls
Or
are
lighting up.
tracking your
Show you.
success.
Oh, okay.
So they just knew that you attempted and failed the dragon challenge.
Just so compassionate and mercy. He did the opposite. He's die, you beast!
And they were tracking you through the rooms. Like they knew what rooms you ended up in, what traps you guys ended up triggering.
So they knew
Where
that we
you
were
failed,
unethical
where
right
you
from the
passed,
bat.
yeah.
Well, so that was the thing is it's like, can they see us? Do we need to be sly with casting magic? And Todd was like, too late, you know.
Yeah, you guys never really figured out the way that the tickets worked.
Yeah.
We were just chaos dribbling it,
Yes, you were, and that was okay.
bare knuckles.
I like I like dungeons. I think they're fun. Dungeons.
I greatly enjoyed making the map, and I'm glad I still have the map that we drew on my tablet.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I didn't want to give you guys the map because I figured it ruined the idea of it being a labyrinth.
No, absolutely. It was a lot of fun to like build that out.
Yeah.
It was just very good that you had a scalable tablet.
Yeah, that was helpful.
That was awesome.
And that did help me with that gave me the idea of the one shot that I ran when you weren't here. You weren't here. I don't think you
Dino
were
round?
here either. Yeah.
No, I wasn't here either.
Nope, it was just
That gave me an
just
idea.
boys
Of having them build out
facing on
the thing would be
dinosaurs.
really awesome.
Eureka.
So what was your favorite moment, Lynn?
God.
Mariah. I defaulted to character names.
It's fine. I mean, like, objectively, I had a lot of pleasure in those moments where you would just do, like, a really large lore drop, and then I'd have to be like, how upset is she gonna be about the fact that this just came down? So, like, the,
You got a lot of lore drops.
100, I am a lore gremlin. It made my life very enjoyable, not gonna lie. But I really liked that, and I really liked the, like, the culmination of turning from a Triton to an Atlantean Mer. That was a very entertaining experience, largely because it was just like, oh, so you're actually a Royal Atlantean Mer. We can reverse that like when you're ready. Well, let's do it now. Now? Why? Might as well. I would time like the present. That was fun. That, and I have to say, when Nessie came and was like trying to kill Olagu because she thought he like broke their bargain, that was a very stressful encounter, but a very enjoyable encounter.
Was that the point when I stole the coin? Took the coin?
No. That was when we were all heading towards oh shit, what island was that? The not Silver Tree, Silvari. When we were heading towards Silvari with the entire armada, and Nessie just pops up and is like, hey, you owe me something. And I'm like, what the fuck did you do? That was really
He
enjoyable.
made promises.
I kept all my promises.
Yeah, you
Way
did.
ahead of schedule.
Alright, what was your favorite moment?
Let's see, I think I have 3.
Do they all correspond with your 3 wishes?
No. The Session Zero, the arrests were a ton of fun.
Yeah, they were.
I greatly
That
enjoyed the
was fun.
twins and playing Grunge.
That was
It was
awesome.
fantastic. Let's see. The camp with all my undead supporting you, I greatly
That
enjoyed
was
playing
amazing.
that. Yes.
Just
that
the
was so much
visual
fun.
of a giant gorilla.
Yes.
All these, just what were they doing? The
They were
zombies
all the
being
zombies were
carried
all
by the skeletons. Yeah, they're like carried.
Because I could run
Yep.
faster. Yeah.
It's like the woods are on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And then I think the last one was The Last Wish to give you attunement. That was a lot of fun.
That was fucking awesome. That whole you guys
That
found
came in
you guys
clutch.
found such a good solution to that. Such a good solution.
That brought what was supposed that I mean that particular interaction or encounter could have and should have lasted at least.
No, yeah, it would have lasted a whole
Yeah,
minute.
100%.
That would have been
Like-
10 rounds.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And you guys were very ingenious in your use of your skills. And I mean that worked really well. You have to deal with the consequences of it.
Oh, I was fucking hurting the rest of that battle.
Huh?
Like,
I
your
could've
strength,
attacked
your
you.
strength was 3.
My strength was 3. I took a d10 damage for every level spell that I cast. So every time I cast a 7th level spell, I took 7 d10 damage.
Gosh.
And
was
it's
awesome.
unreducible damage.
And I could have attacked and killed you, but I didn't.
And wasn't it that like the no, it was Disintegrate, where you were like right on the cusp of failing.
Yes. If I wasn't within range of you or would have only taken half damage, I would have been a pile of ashes.
Yeah. That was actually really satisfying about playing a paladin. It was actually like, if you're within 30 feet of me, don't worry, I got you.
That's the only reason Olagu's alive.
It's the only reason Olagu tolerates Amylin.
There's that.
In your move at the beginning of the combat, take me, yourself, and
Crux.
Crux straight over to the
Yeah.
loft was a really good decision.
Divide and conquer.
Yep, it was a really good choice.
I did like playing with them.
Yep, I enjoyed the twins too. That was so fun. That was so fun.
Yes.
Help!
So
Help!
Also,
So you guys
the twins
did,
one
like-
shot.
You guys
Yep,
did
that
like
was
the
so
way
fun.
that
Oh my gosh.
I loved that.
Okay.
That was a lot
Yeah,
of
that
fun.
was very unique and very, very cool. It was an awesome way to see us. And we all got to
But
play
me
characters.
going
Too bad
through
they're
and
gonna
creating
die.
those dossiers for you.
Unless he recruits him. I mean, no, he won't recruit them at all. Just kill him.
Punished.
What if he punishes them by like recruiting them and like
Oh,
No,
those
he's
are
gonna
the
absorb
horses.
their souls. And
Yeah.
he's gonna put their souls in cages.
keep them alive?
It'll be
Yeah.
useful to me. And punished at the same time.
Sorry, yes, you were saying?
I was just saying I loved being able to create those dossiers for like the NPCs and letting you guys play the NPCs, and you're just like, I have no idea what is going to happen. Like you have an idea of what your end goal is supposed to be, but you're just like, I've got no clue what I'm doing, and everyone did exactly what I needed them to do, but it always, like you always put your twist on it, and I was like, this is great. This is great.
It was such a good like tension breaker because it's we're starting with new characters and it's actually be this twin, be this drow. It's like
Yep,
excellent.
expendable characters. Like play them how you'd like as long as we do this
Yep.
and get this done.
And you're like, oh, excellent. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was awesome.
The BBG.
So,
All right,
Yay.
that's
campaign 4.
Number 4.
And then we have future goals.
it. So
Yeah.
you guys, we've been playing for 3 years together.
Yeah.
That's enough, right?
I'll just pretend I was with you guys in spirit for the first year.
That is amazing. 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do you want to share your future goals?
I'm just the late bloomer.
Does everybody have future goals?
So are we doing 1 year out? Because that's all I thought about. I didn't think about beyond that.
I have a list.
A 12-stage plan.
No, I think it's a 6-part list. I think it only goes to 6.
Well, how many sessions did you want to run? And I assume you want to do that after school is on break for
Oh,
the
no, it's
summer.
8.
How many sessions are you wanting to make? The
Loth's
return of
return.
Loth's return. Atlantis Loth returns.
I was thinking 2 to 4.
Okay.
I was thinking 2, and then I was like, wait. People
Objectively.
squirrel a lot, so probably 4.
That's fair.
Plan for 4, prep.
For 6.
For 2.
Yeah, for 2.
Yeah.
So what's your deal?
So, step 1
That's you.
is to take care of grudge. My thoughts are to, with your help and Crux's soul,
Yep.
be able to have a giant pot of chili
Just
of
think
Crux's
about it.
recipe, summon grudge into the boiling pot of chili,
Boiled
and just
alive.
have it boil there.
Can we
Cannibalize
slowly dip him?
If I can.
I want to talk to him as he's going in.
Oh, then I will have
no.
Orion's
What we
body.
do is we tie him
Fly.
up, and we have like one of those, like a super villain, have like a really giant one, have it slowly pour it.
Yeah, I like that. Right.
Yes.
It's like you're being tar and feather, but it's hot chili.
Orion will be there for the feathers.
Sprinkling feathers.
As they're decaying off his corpse.
I'm molting.
And then are you gonna banish him? Or send him to another round?
We're gonna
No,
kill
he's
him.
dying.
Oh.
I mean, we could send him somewhere. Just let him sit there in his hot chili as he dies. But I want to watch him. I want to watch him die.
Well, then
Okay,
go
well,
get
here's
some
the
die.
die.
His revenge.
And then I'll keep his soul with me as punishment.
Okay, so what's stage 2?
Stage 2 is summon the twins who are at my shop. And kill them.
Yep. Just the twins.
Tell them this is what you get for entering my shop. Make sure they know why they're being punished. See the look of upset and upness on their face, and then kill them.
Can we just do a series of one-shots?
Where Olagu was just very good at
Olagu's
targeting.
plans? Can we just do, like, the Olagu series? We can call it that. The Olagu series.
What's happening?
The Olagu Chronicles.
Yes.
Number 3 is create a clone and embed it in a hidden cubby that I can create in Nessie's statue with one of my spells. So that way if I die, my soul will go into the clone and go act like nothing happened. That's the clone spell.
Say that again.
He wants to create a Horcrux.
Yeah,
Right.
with the clone
For who?
spell.
So an empty vessel, a clone.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's you take
So when
a
you
literal
die-
portion off your body and it grows into a clone of yourself.
And you're gonna put it
if you die, your soul goes into that
In a
clone.
cabinet in the base
Of
of
Nessie's statue.
of the statue that you gave
That's the
Nessie.
safest place.
And you did specify that when you made the wish, didn't you? You specified. I remember you saying something about that. I was like, what the fuck's that about?
I have many plans.
That makes total sense. You're gonna stash a body in there, so if you ever die, you
my soul,
you
I'll be
automatically
fine. Yeah.
just emerge.
Trey doesn't do
Nessie's just
something,
there as you
everything's
climb out of the
like
cabinet.
All right,
What in the
next
world?
step, restart my business in Atlantia. Construction security will be much needed, and I'll have that on the cheap. And very easy labor. I'm gonna have this house around Morto's temple. And then we get to the long-term goals. That is going to be God's allowance.
Do you have 2 or just the 1?
It's a list of steps for the
Oh
one.
god, okay.
Alright, so then becomes the research via asking Nessie, summoning demons, looking in old books on how to become a lich.
You can see where this is going.
Begin hunting for the ingredients because I found actual rules for how to become a lich. Find the ingredients to make the potion that kills you. I would like to use Morto's Godstone as a phylactery because I have to put souls into it to roll myself, and I feel like I would enjoy having souls in this heart.
Do you want to tell Elizabeth what your was for that?
My backup plan was to make my phylactery the royal bloodline.
Hamlin's bloodline.
So they have to kill the royal bloodline to kill me. Was going to be my other idea.
You can do that?
We have very interesting hypothetical conversations.
So it's
about
either
these.
you make the
Never heard of anything
bloodline,
like
they have
that.
to kill the bloodline, or make it the godstone, they have to destroy the
Oh.
godstone to break my phylactery.
Final Fantasy 15. Sorry, that's a subplot in that game.
And then I wouldn't use any of the souls of the Atlantean people for my lichness. Liches don't have to be evil. They can be Olagu's form of evil. And it just requires any kind of soul. Animals, devils, demons, and
You have a year to think about it, so.
I can just use those to feed my phylactery.
Nezeloth.
So I shouldn't give you idea,
You should.
but
It's just gonna get better.
please remember
It'll age like a fine
that
chili.
for souls to pass on, they pass through Morto's temple. Either Morto or Mirthas.
Oh, there's
depending on how they died and
there's
what they
a
were like
specific
doing.
ability that liches gain to trap a soul and force it into their phylactery where it degrades into the phylactery.
So you could just choose some of the souls that are wandering through.
Yeah, but
Mortos
he'll get
Temple.
more pleasure from like just
Okay.
summoning a Mezzaloth.
Yeah.
Or grudge.
Just over and over and over again.
Oh, I'll have souls in my cage. They made me for that purpose in the future.
So you're on the path
To lictum.
to become a lich?
Yeah.
To become a lictor.
So Alex,
Yeah,
can we do the Chronicles of Olivia?
that's in your bag. I'm not touching that.
So, but your nature would be like, you're not inherently evil.
Does Morto have a high priest?
No.
Would Morto like a lictor for a high priest?
So technically, the high priests are the ones who get the hussings.
So he is the high priest.
He was on path to becoming high priest.
I think it depends on what his ultimate goals are, because it's like if he's like the stereotypical lich where it's world conquest, somebody's gonna try to take him down.
I don't think it's world conquest.
I think it's just immortality and power.
Immortality of power and just like being right next to Morto for the
Well,
rest of eternity.
That is the point of conquest, though, is to take everybody's shit for yourself.
Well, and it's
But
the
power is different things to different people.
Right.
and it's the ultimate level.
Centuries down the line, potentially.
Centuries down the line, or it's this is a small child who watched his entire family get annihilated. He's trying to store up power to prevent that from happening again in a very interesting way.
And it also like it's the top level of manifestation of necromancy
necromancy.
magic.
Yep.
So it's like your people and what they all studied and what they believed in. It's like the ultimate form of that.
Yep.
It's like the wish people could become. The ultimate thing is a lich, like ultimate power of necromancy.
Didn't you try to ask me to use the wish spell to become a lich?
I did not. Because I didn't think about becoming a lich till after the campaign ended.
Did we think about that?
For some reason, I
I
have a feeling we talked about liches at some point, or that it was brought up.
I don't remember.
Is Oliver gonna be the big bad?
Maybe it was just worried you were going to ask me to
You
become a lich.
might have been
He
worried.
could be, but it would be dependent on his interests. Like what would
Yeah,
happen. Like he'd
so
have to be
it's-
interested in something that people would need to
He's
stop
very
you.
pragmatic. If he keeps
Right.
the nation happy with him, he doesn't take from the nation, he'll be safe.
Explain
But what
why
does it
you
do
wanted
with his
Lynn's
Yeah, like is he
bloodline.
pillaging villages and
No.
kingdoms?
No, he
No.
just wants it to
No,
have it.
he wants it to have it to protect in case anything ever happens again.
Well, so would you still be
Kinda like how
raising your army of the
Stalin wants
undead,
knowledge-
right?
wants
Right.
Knowledge just to have it.
That would
Yes.
probably
So
upset
it's obviously
some.
very different from Alatar's
Probably.
lich
Where
form
would
where
you
he
be?
wanted world
What do you
conquest.
mean, where would I be? I'd
Like-
be at the island that has Morto's temple.
That's where you spend the majority of your time.
That's where I'm going to build my shop. I'm gonna have my undead workforce.
He just wants to spend
So you can
eternity
use spores
with
for
manipulating
communications
the dead
for hiring.
to use to do great construction work
I will have
and to
multiple
worship
swords in my
Morto
shop.
from now until the end of time in a very unique way.
And let's just say that there's some
So would that
nation that
mean
inconveniences me,
Olegu-
or oh, you're threatening
What's that
Atlantia.
word?
Nah, this is my home.
It's that you're threatening Atlantia and now you know this is my
Atlantia
home.
protects me from you. I protect Atlantia from you.
I like the idea of having something that is inherently terrifying, not in your back pocket, but aligned with your interests.
Right.
And you're assuring that it's aligned with your interests
I
from
like-
now
I-
until like the very end of time.
I really like that idea. It's a really good idea.
So now I know what I'm doing next summer.
It's
So
a really cool idea.
I had to look up the word because I couldn't remember it. Does that make Olegu a necrophiliac?
No, I don't have sex with the dead.
It's not having sex.
What is his deal?
What do you mean? What is this deal?
So nothing on your list had to do with like finding out like resolving that letter that Maida sent you. Does he ever talk to her about that, or just avoid it entirely?
He grew up alone and is very confused and innocent. I don't think he understood what she was saying.
Then why the hell did he sneak into her bedroom to begin with?
Because he's
He's
a
nosy.
nuisance.
He's a new person. He's like, I don't know who you are. I'm gonna find out what you got. What's your deal? Are you gonna kill me in my sleep? I don't know. Are you gonna rob me in my sleep? You might rob me in my sleep.
Are you going to try and take down my business?
How much did that timey-wimey bullshit screw you guys up?
I don't know.
It was a little bit of an adjustment for the first 2
I feel like
sessions
the biggest
or so.
adjustment was adjusting to no longer a Zentar.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually, I think it was like the looking back at retroactive conversations that were important plot points, being like, did we have that in this timeline? Shit.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. So the OG Mida, her subclass was called a Risk Breaker. That was a subclass that I created. Whatever. I know that was a while ago. What everybody think of that as far as like balance?
Pretty good.
The rest of those are yours.
So I wish I could.
Yeah, we did eat a lot
So I
of
wish
those.
I could have done more with that, but maybe in the future.
Oh, he's putting them back to the table. That's dangerous.
Yes, it is. I like Oreos.
Were you serious about doing the other thing?
Oh yeah, I also had a thought of, so there is a spell called Sequester. What allow me to do is it puts a person into a inanimate state where they no longer age, they no longer need to eat, sleep, they're just basically asleep until a certain condition is met. My thought was, what if when Lynn was old, I put her into a sequestered state to be called back upon at a time of Atlantea's greatest need?
The once and future king.
My thought was really like oh yeah, because you're really pissed off Loft. She's just gonna keep coming. Yeah, you just call me back when you need me.
And there's also, if she's unconscious, I can do what I need to do to make the bloodline my phylactery, if that's the route I go with.
that was the real intention behind it. He's like, hey, would you be down for like this being like, call you back, great need? Yeah, that sounds great. What is the catch? Why would you worry? Like, don't worry about that. No, I'm worried about that. What is the catch?
Yeah. Probably lean towards more of the Godzone, because I don't like the idea of the phylactery being in somebody else's hands, even though it's literally them. You're too noble, you'd kill yourself if need be.
I think
The
that
question is, and I would have to think about this, if you wanted to try to use Morto's Godstone as the how do you say it?
Phylactery.
Phylactery. The problem is, it's literally his heart. It is his essence. So does that mean that you're just giving him the souls?
It would depend on how these souls are used. It's a specific ritual to charge the phylactery to keep myself alive. So it could be that I would like, hey, let me use your Godstone as phylactery, and you can keep a percentage of the souls I put into it.
Hey, what are you doing? Leave the squeaker to me alone. Leave the squeaker.
Room for discussion later, but that is my thoughts, my plans, my desires.
No, it doesn't. You got the cat. You know mine. No, leave it. You do not get to eat the squeaker.
Who?
Leave it.
Who's trying to eat it?
You got the speaker out of one of the
Bear.
toys.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he chews on them once he gets them.
Oh yeah.
That's fine.
that.
I've just had too many foreign body removals that I've scrubbed in on.
Don't get me wrong. I take them away when he eats them, but yeah.
It's a normal practice for him.
He actually destroyed his other giraffe yesterday. The other day.
That's a different one.
He had two. Ah, gotcha.
Oh, buddy. Did I take away your toy? Did I take away your toy?
Yeah, that's all Luke's plan.
Just a light sprinkling.
Well, good job, everybody.
Thank you for playing.
Thank you for DMing.
Yeah, thank you for DMing. Let's go get coffee sometime so we can talk about Lynn's plans for the next year.
Okay. Just let me know when.
Okay.
Weekends are better.
Sounds good. They're better for me too. I have less students emailing me. Come here. You want up? I know, but you're not letting me grab you. Come here.
Isn't he just so honoring?
Come here.
You don't know what he
I want
wants
to
out
interact
of
with you, but if you're down my level and I think you're gonna pick me up.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna give them reach.
So you're going to be gone next week, and then
Yep.
who's going to be gone this 23rd and the 30th?
Nobody. She's gonna be gone the 29th as well.
So you're gone the next 3 weeks?
No, just the next two.
Yep. The
Yep.
15th week, everybody be here.
So I'm
the
gone next
week,
week,
and
I'm
then
back the following week, and then I'm gone again.
Yes.
Because
Okay,
next
so
week is my training, and then the last week of the month I scheduled my actual summer vacation.
okay, so
Because I'm going to Salem.
we're doing board games the next 3 weeks, and then starting.
So Trey has a one shot.
Do we
Okay.
need to build characters?
Are you guys
We were gonna do that on the week that you were gone, and the week
one
that
of
we're
the 2
cooking.
weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
So
you
probably
guys
not next week, but
the last week?
yeah. And I will give you all information.
Got it. Come here. And then August 5th
Is when we start
is
campaign
Monday.
5?
And you need to leave early for school. And then you can also do it on the 12th. And then you're gone on August 27th.
No, that is the week that I have to switch over to Tuesdays. I will not be able to
Okay.
come on Mondays.
All right, so are we gaming on the 5th or 6th of August?
5th
The 5th.
and the 12th.
The 5th and the 12th, and then other than that, it's all Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the next couple of weeks are weird.
Come here.
I
I'll
apologize.
write that down.
Come here, Grumblebutt.
And like I said, I'll send reminders and all that.
It'll help to have it in my notes.
Oh, that's why, because I have my Orpheum console the 13th. Because like, why did I do the 13th? That's why.
And then
Because the time
you're
that I
gonna be
should be here. is-
gone? No,
No.
you're not going to be gone. We're just switching to Tuesdays on the
Yep.
27th. Okay.
So every day moving forward, except for the 5th and the 12th, are going to be Tuesdays.
So
Gotcha.
Tuesdays from here on out.
Gotcha.
Unless somebody says they need something.
Well, since we're all here as a group, is there any session 0 stuff we need to do for the next campaign all together, or are we all set?
Did you have anything you wanted to share about your the next year's plans for Gore?
Our stuff was very simple. It's Artemis and Gore together with our newfound love.
Yeah, your newfound love.
Yes, our newfound love and our new godlike abilities. Gore feels obligated to do something good with the power he's been given because it was by chance that he got involved with you guys at all.
Fire.
And his mind was just opened and like enlightened into a whole different world, and he's eternally grateful for it. Even though he tragically lost his whole family, his whole clan's gone. But
Shocking.
at least he took care of Loth, or helped take care of Loth.
Yeah.
The perpetrator of that great evil. I mean, she even killed the kids. So
Even the children.
even the children like smashed their little bodies up. It was
Some of them were strangled. It was really weird.
looked like my hands, but couldn't have been.
The Will of Law.
So I agreed to help Artemis with finding stuff to make her potions, to making her potions a little more efficient. And we'll travel together as she makes her potions, and just see the world outside the walls, since it'd be my first time ever leaving Atlantis. And that's kind of like where she's from, is outside. So we would travel together back into like Neverwinter, or whatever it's called, like the Sword Coast, like that area.
Yeah, that's one of the kingdoms that are along there.
Like that kind of stuff, and like going to village and helping people. Our eyes glow, we're like gods to people as we walk in. So
Do we pick what color our eyes glow?
can we?
Yes.
I want sapphire.
So hers is sapphire blue, mine's like like sunlight. So if you
Like
if
topaz?
you stare at my eyes too long, you'll go blind. Like you'll be at that spot. So
Direct eye
don't,
contact.
Don't look
Bad.
at me in the eyes. I'm sorry, it's not a god thing. It's just they're bright. So from village to village, we find people that need help, and then also supply them with some of our potions to give them help with fighting off bandits, that kind of thing. Get to know the world for a little bit, but staying close by to Atlantis.
Thanks.
Because we know what happens in the year, and we feel obligated to help with it.
Appreciate that.
So we'll be giving people things and letting them, spreading the word of.
Yeah, spreading the word of Atlantis, right? It's like, they're now remembering this place, and I'm from that place, telling stories of Atlantis, things that I know about it, that kind of stuff.
They're gonna
And-
think that Atlanteans' eyes glow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, probably. And telling them about Loth's return, and we're gonna help them prepare.
So you're gonna sow.
I don't know who would do
hope
that.
terror.
No, we never agreed to that. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think we should start spreading terror. We're trying to help people.
Recover?
Right, because people know who Loth is, and if they know that Loth wants their world, that's gonna fucking send them into a panic. And if they know we're involved with it, and then we kind of caused it,
But what about if we find the right people? Like, we don't tell everybody, but we tell certain people
I mean,
who
the people
might
in Nardorf,
help.
maybe the people in Nardorf, they seem trustworthy. Something about these people. with Nardorf. Just
A lot of stories about this Milo character.
Yeah, we gotta meet up with Milo. He's gonna be the one to save us from Lost. It's gonna be Milo. So that's all we're doing. So just being do-gooders.
Black Brain Wonder never hears about Olagu.
Yeah, that's a crossover we don't need.
One of them would die.
One of them would die.
Fire Wonder, you gotta go.
We'll see.
You're
You're
will have
squishy.
Quark on her with her.
Not when I'm behind 100 undead.
At this point, she might have 100 ghost hunters with her as well. So it'll just be a clash,
But
buddy.
I'll also have Atlantis with me.
It's true. It's true. Are you gonna leave Atlantis? Because Wander's probably not gonna go to Atlantis. She's gonna send people for that.
I think I'm not sure if it's happened more than once. I think it has, but some of my favorite sessions we've ever done is when we take characters from other
Crossover.
campaigns and then shove them into one,
Yeah.
like Predator Island, where we had a lineal,
Yeah.
had Rooted,
Yep.
and we had Gwen,
And
and then Corey.
Yeah, I said
It's
maybe it was Sending Stone.
Uh-huh.
I was like, Bran the Brave's gonna answer if you use it right now, so maybe don't.
I can't lie. I like playing ignorant characters. Like, that's kind of like my thing. Like you make goody two shoes people. I make characters that are ignorant on purpose. It helps with the fact that I don't actually know all that much about D&D, so it helps a lot because I just make mistakes that are totally natural. So that's kind of why I like doing it. It's like I don't know as much as you do.
I make schemers.
Yeah, you do.
Well, and you've gone through like the Monster Man. You just looked at it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, because we'll encounter stuff and they'll start describing something. You're like, I know what it is. Like, you know all those things. So I don't know much about that.
I really love the crossovers too. Please.
So fun.
Never put Wander and Olagu in the same crossover because you will not have a productive time. They will simply kill each other.
Maybe that might be the thing. Remember the wedding? The whole wedding thing with the who was the god? The god who's the jokester, god prankster, and he put us all in the fire pit. Like,
Yeah,
lava
it
thing?
was Agma.
Yeah, him. Like that thing.
slash.
Our whole thing was that was so cool. We were
All
in
three of my
teams.
characters were still alive.
Well, we
Yeah, that was something.
we did did that just as fun, just for fun. I mean, we could
Yeah.
do something like that
Yeah,
just for the hell of it.
Absolutely, that's fine. Please do never put us in like a thing that is in world. Please never cross over Wander and Olagu because quite literally, the only enemy that she has firmly outlined that is a no-go is necromancers, and not people who do necromantic magic. Necromancers.
Is there a way that Quantum can kill Corey just outright, or do something to him in the first round so powerful that Quantum can do?
Outside of Wish?
Outside of Wish, we'd have to make an agreement. You can't wish on me. It's not fair, Quantum. You can't just wish you win.
I mean, he can turn you into a rock.
So,
Polymorph.
yeah.
I can turn you into
Drop
an
kick.
But you
inanimate
wouldn't
object.
win. You just technically just
Oh, turn you into an
delay.
inanimate object. Fly you 500 feet to the sky.
And then just drop me? It's a friendly. It's
Roll
a friendly
reverse.
tool, Quantum. You can't kill me.
So, are you confirming that Quantum and Corey still spar
I
every
want
once in a
to. I
while?
want to do one. Yeah, I want to do
Oh, I would
another
love to spar
level
with
20,
you.
level 20. But there's gotta be limitations.
Oh, he would not try and kill you, so it would not.
Okay.
It would take out any of those one-trick pony ones.
Okay, that's what I'm
Yeah.
asking. Because I'm like, of course you could do something like that to Corey, just to punch things. Like, hey, can I punch?
I think Quantum's at the point where he cares about Corey's honor and doesn't want
Yeah.
to just outright kill him.
Plus, it all counts on if I can hit you or not. I gotta roll
Yeah.
pretty fucking high to hit you.
What is Corey's hit points at?
It's gotta be almost 300, right?
I believe so.
What is 14?
I also took the boon of recovery, so he can recover half of his HP. That's the
What is
boon of
14d6? It's
No,
a range.
what's the max?
I wonder
Not much.
if we continue with the having characters do the recap thing. Could we just have this be the Triton recap and just pass it?
I like
Or
it.
just stab it.
No!
No, because that metal's really soft.
Don't do that. You could break it.
That's why it's been based.
So believe it or not, because he's only
My intrusive thoughts were trying to win.
4 levels of barbarian. He's mostly monk and rogue.
Yeah.
He's only got 211.
211?
I noticed that
He doesn't have that much.
So, oh wait, okay,
Thor
walk me
was my highest
When I tried
one.
to fix it,
delayed blast fireball. If I held it for a minute,
It's 23d6.
23d6.
Which is
If I changed it to fire, or to cold damage, oh, that's only 138.
and uncanny dodge. I cut it in half. That's how I stay alive.
That's fair.
I just reduce all my, and when I'm raging, everything is half.
The
And then I
key
can
for
cut it in half
Quantum
again.
would be not be in a position where you can attack him to get you out of range.
You
Exactly.
missed
That would be the whole
Alex.
thing.
I asked if we continue to do the character recaps, if this could just be the trying to recap and it's just passive.
So he's holding the trident speaks.
And
Yeah.
then we remember, like, who did the last recap. That way it's not the last person, it's not the same person by accident.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. That would be cool.
I don't know if we are or not, but
Well, when I've met with everybody for their characters for the next campaign, pretty much everybody asked if we were going to do that again. I'm fine with it. I don't care. If everybody wants to do character recaps
I can have
each session.
You would do what?
Firebolt.
so it's just the trident to recap then?
What's that?
Is this just the trident to recap then?
Sure, it's fine with me.
120 feet.
Because I have no use
Go
for
I like
Plus,
it's the you went with some monks and they
It's
showed
like
you
the
how to
first player token.
Exactly.
It's the dragon mark.
Yeah.
I actually got it from
Exactly.
my
Hang on to it
agreement
here
with the
until we use
Bahamut.
it.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
But yeah, to your point, I mean, more crossovers. I'm
I
cool with
love
that too.
crossovers.
It's like, I mean,
I think
your
you do a
Corey
really
thing, your
good
Corey
job.
thing is kind of going to be one too. 'cause
It is.
Max, it'll be
Darren.
Darren, Quantum,
Yep, that's
Ash,
total
and
mesh. Yeah.
Oh,
what
yeah.
else she's going to be.
We only
God damn it. What's your name again? For,
What?
Desi, what's your name?
No, it's
Right?
campaign 5.
Oh,
For my stuff.
For your stuff?
Yeah.
Zorali.
Zerali.
I'm a level 20 druid, but I'm also mute.
So 23.
Oh.
Yeah, she has-
Level 20 druids are so much fun. What
need
circle?
Say, ask her about help with druid stuff.
Yeah.
And Trey with
Hang on,
druid stuff.
let me see.
Maybe I'll tell you a lot about it.
Circle.
That's my favorite
I've never
subclass.
played a druid
Circle
all
of
the way,
Land.
so I've only played
Circle
like
of Land. Okay,
Yeah, I'm in
actually,
the mountain.
like fire.
I can help you with that. I am in our other campaign currently playing a Circle of the Swamp druid.
I'm also a tiefling.
I can help you with that as well.
I'm about to play a Circle of Stars
You
druid.
wanna take a look at her?
Hey,
Yeah,
you guys are
that's what
both
we're gonna do.
druids
That's
for
campaign
campaign
five,
5?
No, I am a warlock.
Oh, that's right.
I'm looking forward to how you describe the things you do.
But
Like, I'm looking forward to
Zorali
seeing
is
what's the
mute,
visual
so
of how
she
these
speaks
things
by
work.
either turning into
Yeah.
animal or
Because you're
My-
dwarf,
by
right?
using her nature abilities.
So with this,
To
keep
go
in
back
mind
to our
that
1v1 fight, I
as
think the crux would be
campaign
my Ninth Level Blade of
5e,
Disaster spell.
it'll be an action to turn
Because
into
a normal hit is
wild
a
shape.
40
It's not a
12
bonus
damage.
action.
But
So
a
bonus
crit
action is
on
Isn't
only
it
for
18,
for because I'm
19,
level
or
20 I can do it at will?
And on a crit
No,
hit,
I think
add
it's
an
that
extra
you can do
18,
it as
12.
many times as you want.
Yeah.
So it'd be
But it's
40
an action, not a bonus action.
It's an action, not a bonus action.
It
I'll
would
pull up.
be 12d12
Unless we
double
decide
because it's on a
not,
crit.
unless we decide to ignore that.
So double
Yeah, so
damage.
if you wanted
Yeah.
to play
I
for
can
like
uncanny
the
dodge it, so I just make it a
new
normal
rule
hit.
set, it'll be a bonus action.
That's the thing is
for
that
all
better
your
reaction.
That still makes it 12d12
I can
force damage,
survive.
and I can
I could take it.
2 attacks per turn, and that would just be a bonus action after I cast it.
It's like, baby, all I gotta do is line up my chakras, slap myself in my ass, and I'm about a third way back from it. That's the thing is I can just keep healing myself. That's how I keep myself alive. The only thing is I gotta hit you.
Yeah,
That's the only thing.
so-
I know I'm gonna take damage.
Druid,
I just
you
wanna hit
wild
Let's see.
shape.
Then there's also, I could, instead of
And
Blaze
I'll
Asher,
number
do
times, so if
Time
it's
Stop
still
and just
all the way
set it
down,
up
you
so
can
you're
That
fine.
too. That too. Time Stop is another super
So
powerful
you
one.
can use it unlimited
You
amount
can't
of
go
time to
timeout
ignore
and then keep fighting me.
any,
You don't even realize it's time out. It's just always like, wait, why is there 4 different things right next to me? And then boom.
Happening at once.
And
Yeah.
this body just means that you're going to be really slow. Apparently, I'm really afraid of aging because almost all of my characters have some
How would
version
you,
of that.
how would you do in a zone of reverse gravity?
So if you go back,
I'm creative. I can find something. I mean, you can't move, right? Like once you get up to the top,
Yeah.
you just
You just basically, what's the word? Oscillate between the two zones,
two
yeah.
zones. And there's just no way because it's like a
So far,
solid.
yeah.
It's because you can't burst through it to get over
okay,
it.
so
The
So-
one thing I
As
haven't done yet,
a-
I've been waiting to do, is zone of reverse gravity, and then stop concentrating when I cast prismatic wall underneath them.
oh, you're
So
such
they have
a
to fall through all the layers of prismatic wall.
nice. He's such a dick.
Jeez.
Okay, so for
Jeez.
Circle of the
God
Land,
damn.
All right.
I mean, I don't think I could. I don't know if I could win, but
Wild shape.
I think
I would like to see like
I'm
what
so
happens.
squishy. With a few hits, I'm dead.
Is much
You
lower.
think so?
Yeah.
I do
So
hit
it's-
really hard.
it's
Because
still
what's your plus to hit?
For,
It's only a plus
for
10.
Gwynlian, it is
It's just a
higher
plus 10,
because
then
she's
you
a
rage.
circle of the moon. So
yeah.
it's different. That is
So
the
that's
chest
a
that
plus
capitalizes
2
on wild shape.
on top of that? What's your plus to hit?
So I can only.
Well,
my
the
you can
rage
go
bonus is
up
only
to,
for
a
damage.
CO1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you about to say something, Elizabeth?
Are you
So it's
gonna
just
do
a
that?
plus 2, yeah.
I'm gonna skedaddle because it sounds like we're wrapping up. I've got
Yeah.
an early-ish day tomorrow because I gotta pick my mom up from the airport.
Okay.
So it's not too early, but I figured if we're wrapping up, I'm just gonna go ahead and scoot out if that's okay.
You gotta do what you
I had one last question for you.
Good Lord, Bear, how much stuffing?
Oh,
All of it.
He went crazy.
Eviscerate.
Got it.
Disintegrate.
Just your puppy dog.
Yes.
We can take care of it.
Yeah,
No?
sure.
Yeah, it'd be easier when everybody's gone, anyways.
Because I only have 142 hit points.
Only 142? Wow.
Did you
What's
have a
your-
question for Elizabeth?
I did.
Oligo ended on 110.
Do you
so
see yourself running
105.
another long form campaign at some
Right, that's
point?
what Oligo finished
I
on?
do. I think I'm probably gonna wait until
Yeah,
after
105 is what
campaign
Oligo finished on.
6.
Yeah.
So give you
After
two-
Strix. Oh, that reminds me,
Give you
Strixhaven.
Whoa.
My idea for Strixhaven, this is way down the road, but it'd be somewhat similar to. So Strixhaven's only supposed to be run till level 10. What I thought would be fun is when our characters graduate, they'll go on these little mini adventures, and each adventure is run by a different person at the table.
Oh,
That would be
that's
fun.
cool.
So,
That's
So here's-
really
here's
cool.
my
So our
question.
characters would develop together during the actual main campaign. Strixhaven.
Yeah.
We get a relationship, and
So you shut at the
Yes.
table?
we
Yeah.
get to find. Oh,
Good. He won't do that with me. I would love to do that.
So
What
we
is it?
can still do our weird character setup that we've been talking about, where I'm technically her familiar. And
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Cool.
Whoa. Is that what you're
So-
doing for next campaign?
Not not this
Oh,
coming
okay.
campaign. The Strixhaven
yeah. So.
campaign 6.
Yeah, it'll,
What we're
it'll-
gonna do is she's gonna be the main player, and then I'm going to be like a pixie or a fairy or something,
Whoa.
and I'm her familiar.
Familiar.
So I'm gonna be
But
playing.
you have your own character sheet and everything.
I'll
right?
have my own
'Cause
character
Pixie's
sheets.
a character. that you
Yeah.
can have.
Yeah, there's a fairy race that's homebrew that you could use.
Is your health like super low?
It's their
tiny?
strength that's super low.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Their
So
health, their health is about.
actually fine.
Yeah.
It's
That's
fine.
Okay.
it'd be my strength that's super low because I'm super tiny.
Again, with Mariah's characters, you got big small things.
Yeah, that's true. And that's
So that would be really fun though, if you do that.
Yeah.
If we end up
Co-DMing. Yeah.
on separate sides of the table.
I like that a lot. That's a pretty
It's either that or we're just gonna claim this portion and we're gonna be like, alright, next.
That's really cool. I like that idea.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah, sorry, I can't help you be on Romanceable in campaign 6. You're gonna have to do that on your own.
Easy.
Oh man. Think about Strixhaven character.
I got,
All I've been thinking
got-
about is Kess lately.
got a while.
I think
Got a good
we've
while.
been-
Yeah.
I think we've been thinking about this for a while, and it was just something where I was like, I kind of just want to play Tinkerbell.
You asked about it, and I was like, oh, that would be a lot of fun. You're like, campaign 5, and I was like, sorry, I've already been called dibs on for hair, but I would love to do campaign 6 with you.
Yeah, sorry, you gotta play my wife.
But
Again,
then I figure after that, because I've been looking forward to that, I might do another long-term campaign. I don't know that I want to do as much building on my own. I think the book helped
Yeah.
that I got, but I do think that it ended up being just too much on my schedule. As
Understandable.
enjoyable as it was.
Well, I mean, you had D&D Club too.
Yeah,
Right.
well, and I'm as of right now, I'm not
Atlantis
getting rid of
Part
D&D
2,
Club.
the electric
Oh my
boogaloo.
god, I can only imagine you trying to do all that and keeping it separate. I can barely handle doing characters.
Yeah. Well, and that was part of the problem, and the other part of the problem is I didn't always know what group I was DMing. Because sometimes, like, I was having to fill holes, and so I might be, like, conglomerating some kids from a different group,
Oh.
and then just trying to make it work. So, yeah. And we're not getting rid of D&D Club because it's still the largest club outside of music and sports.
That's so exciting!
That is
That is
really
really
exciting.
Because I have, at the start of the year, I average about 40 kids, and then by the end of the year, I'm down by half, by 50%.
Yeah.
But that's because most of them start to go into music stuff.
Mhm.
And and so I lose them to like the end of year play and all of that stuff. So
I
The
love
track
your Stitch
from-
bag.
I do too. But the track from
We watched the
D&D
Six
that was from when I was
to
at
Theater
New York.
Nerd, very large. There's a good overlap.
Yep. A lot of my kids who
It's
are
like
in,
LARPing. It's like LARPing.
yeah, a lot of my kids who are in the D&D group are either band or they're either band music. Sorry, music is band. They're either band art or
Musical theater.
theater.
Yeah.
Thought you were saying band is in like BANNED.
They get banned.
They get banned.
And I get students
Let's
from
see
the
it.
career center.
If they fail band
Which,
stage, they're
I think there's only other
Yeah.
other club in the school that has
Gotta roll
regular
death
attendance
saves.
from career center students.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. Okay, so Elizabeth, you're not gonna be here next week, which means that we're cooking.
Yep.
I'm gonna be in
We're doing the
Texas.
bit map.
Yeah.
You have fun with AP training.
Yeah.
I wish you the best.
They just got me signed up for my classes today.
Yay!
Congrats.
I have been struggling with them for 6 weeks to get me signed up for my classes.
Better late than never.
I was like, it was not that close.
Well, at least you're gonna miss this hurricane, which is currently hitting Texas. I won't make any promises about any other hurricanes, but you know.
You need help, or you don't have a lot, do you?
No, I've got
Just
the
fair.
You just got
Dog.
the dog. And is this last week you're gonna have him here?
Yes.
Bye, Bear.
Tomorrow I pick up my mom from the airport. So
Well,
Yeah,
I might
she's
bring
an
him back in the
airport
future for funsies.
Absolutely.
Eyebrows and eyes.
Probably maybe not on an actual D&D day. I mean, he was fine, but
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to swap. I'm excited to sit over there starting next month.
Do you not want to DM from that
why?
side?
Because
Yeah, I know
I want to
weird
get all
going
this
over
stuff
there.
back there. Yeah.
Why don't we practice? I don't think you understand.
I don't like change. It's gonna be weird.
I get emotionally attached to my chair.
Yes.
Well, it's just us switching.
I stink. This is what I'm actually hearing. Zach, we stink.
No, I'm saying I understand.
I mean, I
Elizabeth
can talk
is.
for him.
It's honestly more about
I
Zach
have a
touching
thing.
me,
I have a
stealing all my
You
drinks.
liked it.
He was
Stealing his
stealing more.
thing about people walking behind me, and this is the safest seat. No one ever walks behind. Almost never walks behind me.
These are the safest seats.
Yeah, if you want one of these
Yeah,
seats,
well-
let us know.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can-
we
we
can
can
always
flip.
rotate one of us on the
Why do you
end.
not like
show.
people walking behind? Well, the thing is, I would have to walk behind you to get all the D&D stuff. Though.
Yes, I know. Which is like I'm not fighting
I'm saying
you
we
on
could
changing
just-
seats.
We can just slide down so you're one of the. So
See
you're
what happens.
Here,
You
and
go
we're over
there, and
yeah.
then he goes there.
He goes
Alex
there.
goes there. Elizabeth goes here. I go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way nobody walks behind you.
Yeah, we can make that work.
And then
It's
just
an nice
chairs.
try. Yeah, I like that, dude.
I don't, like I said, I don't mind switching seats. I just know that it's going to take me some adjustment.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we can practice over the next couple of weeks. If you really hate it, I can just get
Oh,
set
so much
up.
elbow
I'm not,
We've been
I'm not
sat in
that
the
worried
same
about
seats
it.
all
I was
3
just telling
years.
you, we need, like,
No, we've swapped in between these two seats. We
I don't want my
unplugged.
birthday
like-
sitting in a new seat. Like,
Have they always
trying to
stayed
play
in
a
the same
character.
seat?
And
Man, that's a change. I would hate that.
The
The only
Fair
time
enough.
somebody has switched with them is
That's
if they're
all.
DMing.
We'll start next week.
If it's if they're DMing. It's somebody. If you're DMing, you said
I'll
at
be
the
gone,
end.
so gotcha.
When you're
Yeah,
gone,
I couldn't DM for one of these ones.
and that makes sure
these ones.
we can't see anything behind the screen on accident.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's stuff back there we shouldn't see.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But no, sounds good. Well, that was phenomenal, Elizabeth. Thank
That
you.
was
Yes, thank
so
you
much
for the
fun.
awesome campaign.
Yeah,
I really
I'm glad you
appreciate
guys liked it. I'll be honest, I was nervous running such a long campaign for the first time.
it. I could tell.
Been there, done
You
that.
put a lot of work into it, and it really paid off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Once
really
once we got going, I was okay. But it was like the beginning. I was like,
And you gave us unique things we hadn't done before. Like doing a lot of stuff underwater, that's new. It's like doing ships, we've driven some ships in some one-shots and some basic stuff, so never like that. Never actually traveling long distance going across the sea.
Literally the entire
Running into,
campaign.
running into
Yeah,
storms, that kind of stuff. Dealing with the Kraken, like all that kind of stuff. so.
Dealing with rations.
Uh-huh.
And everything
Yeah,
was
dealing
new to
with
me.
food
I
and
saw
you
it
didn't
and
first.
find a way around it.
You
Yeah.
did.
Nice.
you guys,
But
all those
participants
things that I tried
challenges.
to throw at you,
Yeah, we found ways. Just
you
to
found
turn
ways
it off.
around them. You were like, nope, just turn that feature off.
That's why when I create my little mini campaign where it's a survival thing, there ain't gonna be none of that shit.
You say that now.
Quantum doesn't need to eat.
Yeah, I didn't think people were gonna get around it, and then
I don't have restrictions on races here like me. It's like you have to do this. It's like this is part of the thing. This is what's supposed to be
Also,
fun.
I know it's not happening anytime soonish, but Humblewood.
I have that stuff on D&D Beyond if you wanted to start looking at it and thinking of a character.
And I'm starting to read Humblewood. I'm starting to read like the little book. It's going to be really important that everybody like knows what this world is, because it's just like its own little mini universe and like what's happening.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure it's available online somewhere. I'm sure somebody's done it.
I bought it on D&D Beyond.
So Humblewood is a little campaign thing. We bought the campaign
Yeah.
book. She's gonna run it as her own thing eventually, like looking down the road.
After Zach does his, after.
Yeah, and probably after campaign 6.
Yeah,
Strict
after
out.
campaign
Can I
6.
just play it to Little Owl, please?
I mean, it's in there.
Yeah,
I know.
You got hedgehogs. You got.
I saw the
Details are
picture of the
super
tiny owl.
Details are
So and like there's
Yes, no, I was looking at that.
there's like a complex relationship and history of like the two different types of people that bird focus up. Do you already know?
No, but you did, when you shared it with us, you shared everything, and also I was looking into it recently
So you see-
because I wanted to see the races because
There-
he's got some really cute mice.
There's a ton of stuff for it on YouTube as well.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just giving everybody's heads up. I'm sure you guys are experienced enough to like do that. But I started reading into it. I'm like,
Yeah, that cute
that's a lot of information
thing.
you want to know.
We're gonna
when
do it like a
choosing your
bird
race.
and wing it.
Well, that, or if I could play the mouse, I'll be the mouse. Huh?
Revival.
Yeah.
So I think you
I
want to be
would,
a
I
mouse,
would
don't you?
do
He's got
one
some
that's
really
like
cute
I have a
Nice.
whole
the
mouse
mouse from
collection.
Narnia.
Like, you know the giant turtle that
Are they
I
mouse
got?
size?
Right
Yeah,
here?
tiny.
Yeah.
No, they're like they're
Yeah,
not-
okay. So you
It's
did
the
actually
little
see them,
owl
yeah.
that you're
Yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah, because
and
they're
then you
not
got
like the mice people are actually like 3
those.
feet tall. Like,
Did I show you the turtle with the mice fishing off the back? That
No.
I
I've seen that
I
in
see
some
it.
ways. It's
I-
hilarious.
If I remember,
All
I'll bring
that
it next
is in
week to
D&D
show you.
Beyond. I have
It's
it
so-
shared,
it's so great.
shared capabilities, so you should be able to see.
It's a good
It's a really
time.
good set.
It's a really good set, yeah.
but
Does anybody
That one's
see
good.
a small toucan?
yeah,
Yes.
That's where the stuff it came from.
Yeah, that's what's up.
He
That
eviscerated
and the giraffe.
Yeah.
This was just fabric. It was just
Oh,
the
okay.
stuff that came from the giraffe.
Oh, gotcha.
He eviscerated.
It's not Playmobil. Nice try.
That's Strixhaven. So, how old are we when we start? What's our first year? How old are we? Do you know offhand?
I mean, you guys, depending on so. No. You guys will. It's like college. So you guys
So we're
will
in
be
college, so we're starting
young
college.
adults to older kids.
And we do 10 years of college? Like a doctor? Like, holy shit.
I'll have to look into how
That makes
long
sense.
it
It's
is.
magic. You take a long fucking time to like master whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
What's really
I'll-
fun is there are Strixhaven specific feats for as you progress.
Yeah.
I've seen those, yeah.
So I'm still 100% down to play it, but if I'm playing going through magical college while I'm getting my doctorate, I'm gonna die.
I'll make it fun. I
Oh, that's
promise
fine.
you.
This is fun.
I have a good time with what I do. It's just a lot.
It'll also be making fun of the college experience as well. So there'll be plenty of.
So what level are we starting off with Strixhaven?
One.
I know I'm using a
It'd be
Xyloth
one.
next, so
It'd be
level
one.
1. So I need to create a whole new character?
I get to play another
But
wizard.
you got a long time for it.
No,
yeah,
they're not
yes.
wizards.
probably after next summer, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
More than likely.
Wizard.
Yeah.
So with Humblewood, are you guys only wanting, because it's only 1 to 5, but I could probably expand it out a little
Let's say
longer.
it's whatever you want to do.
You know,
You're
whatever-
running it.
It's
Yeah.
also
Make it
like
as long or short as you want.
Yeah.
From
Yeah, I
level
mean,
one,
if things
one
are-
to whatever.
Right, if things are going like super well, like, and you want to keep going, you don't want to stop. You
Oh,
keep going.
Yeah, no, also, it is so far out that it's really hard to conceptualize.
Yeah.
So, especially because you are in this, like, driver's seat and you're planning it, it feels a lot realer to you than it does to me, because I look at the characters and I'm like, they're so cute.
I know, right?
That's
but I
about
don't
all
relate
of my
it.
connection to it,
Yep.
yeah.
I have no connection.
I haven't really read much into it, just like the introduction.
The hedge.
And are you going to be writing your own story? Or are you going to be using one from the book?
I'm not sure yet.
I think what we talked about is you're gonna
Probably
do,
like, yeah, I'm
you're
gonna
use that as
probably,
a crux to give you foundation stuff and
Right.
add your own mix to it.
Okay.
And I already told her, make it harder.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's like
Make it harder.
I think Trey can. Well, all of us can like
We're all
restrain
really
ourselves.
good,
We can
yeah.
restrain ourselves too. Be like, let's not mess with the first time
This is
DM.
me restraining myself.
That's the thing.
Alex, I love
Exactly.
that you think so highly of him.
You don't know how many thoughts I don't send to the DM.
But,
I mean, so whenever you're a spellcaster, I mean, the DM's gotta amp it up.
alright, so the rule, no spellcasting.
Yeah, Trey cannot be a spellcaster. That's valid.
Yeah.
That's fine.
If somebody else can, just
Play
not
a
Yeah.
melee. Get a heart attack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Recording.